Today's news highlights. Time cutoff, 1700 hours. News headline, Luang made fun of the Hualien earthquake. Weibo official took action, deleted more than 340 pieces of content and banned 20 accounts. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, China Times News Network. News highlights, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake occurred in Hualien on the morning of the 3rd, causing earthquakes to be felt across Taiwan and many places in mainland China, causing serious disasters. Although some comments on the social platform Weibo ridiculed the disaster, Weibo officials have actively cleaned up more than 340 pieces of illegal content and banned 20 illegal accounts. Weibo called on netizens to remain rational in the face of disasters, not to post content that lacks empathy, and not to be gullible and spread false information. Many mainland netizens have supported the administrator's handling and called on everyone to take practical actions to pray for the safety of people in the disaster area. News headline, Why did Rosenberg visit Han Kuo-yu? Taiwan visit 3 mission revealed, 520 will come again. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, China Times News Network. News highlights, American Institute in Taiwan, 8. Chairman Rosenberg paid a visit to Legislative President Han Kuo-yu yesterday, 3rd. This was the 3rd mission of his visit. This meeting aims to balance and ease cross-strait relations and prevent excessive tilt or change of the status quo within Taiwan. Rosenberg's trip showed his doubts about Lai Ching-te's election and his concern about his national security team and the cross-strait content involved in his 520 inauguration speech. Concerns were also expressed about whether the military procurement budget would be affected. Within the Kuomintang, Ma Ying-jeou's visit may trigger a Ma and Xi meeting, and the United States is paying close attention to this. Han Kuo-yu pointed out that despite the domestic disputes among the 3 parties, they basically reached agreement on national defense and foreign affairs issues, conveying an important message to the United States. News headline, 8 foreigners were rescued after being trapped in Zhongheng overnight. Covered in mud smiled and shouted, "I'm very lucky." Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, China Times News Network. News highlights, the Hualien earthquake caused severe damage to the Zhongheng Highway, and dozens of foreign tourists were trapped. 8 foreign tourists were trapped by falling rocks after the earthquake and were unable to escape overnight. Fortunately, a vehicle from Shanyu village came down the mountain and sent them back to the Disaster Relief Command Center. All of them were safe. Another foreigner lost contact at Zuolo Cliff. The rescued tourists described losing the internet connection on their mobile phones and carrying only a small amount of food. Fortunately, we met a water delivery driver who took us down the mountain. Although we didn't understand each other in the language, we all got along well with each other. We felt lucky to have escaped safely. No one was injured and we had an unforgettable journey. News headline, the Hualien earthquake severely damaged the marble industry, with losses estimated at more than 1 billion yuan. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, China Television News. News highlights, a strong earthquake in Hualien killed 10 people and caused heavy damage to the marble industry. Vice President Xiao Maikan went to express condolences. It is preliminary understood that the loss exceeded 1 billion yuan, and the business owners suffered huge losses. Each piece of stone was worth hundreds of thousands of yuan. The vibration caused it to collapse and shatter, and the business owners were heartbroken. The total loss is estimated to be 1 billion yuan, with each damaged manufacturer at least over 10 million yuan, and some even reaching 5 million yuan. Xiao Maikan promised to provide subsidies, including reducing electricity prices and bank interest, to assist the industry in recovering. On the first day after the earthquake, Xiao Maikan returned to Hualien and promised full support to ensure a seamless handover and rebuild Hualien's development. News headline, Ministry of Health and Welfare reveals Hualien earthquake disaster donation account that can remit, line pay, and foreign exchange. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, China Television News. News focus, Hualien suffered a 7.2 earthquake. The Ministry of Health and Welfare announced public donation accounts and methods. Remittances can be made to the Disaster Relief Foundation account number 102-005-19895-7. The online donation platform is free of charge and can be used through https://donate@wabai.tw/projects/0403twhl_earthquake. You can also use LinePay to enter the Love donation platform and select 0403 Hualien Earthquake Fundraising Project to donate. Overseas people can donate using Swift code, LBOTP102, payment name, Taiwan Foundation for Disaster Relief, bank name, Land Bank of Taiwan Shenzhen Branch. News headline, 7.2 strong earthquake. The United States, Japan, Europe, and the Philippines have sent warm messages to many countries. Lai King expressed his thanks. Taiwanese people will be able to overcome the difficulties. Release time, April 4, 2024. Information reference, FTV News. News highlights, A 7.2 earthquake occurred in the eastern waters of Taiwan yesterday, causing severe damage. Dignitaries from 48 countries expressed condolences to Taiwan, including the United States, Japan, the European Union, the Philippines, India, etc. Lai Ching-te thanked the international community for its sincere concern and support for Taiwan on Facebook, and believed that Taiwanese people can show resilience and work together to help each other and unite to overcome this crisis. He especially thanked international friends, including heads of state of friendly countries, the Prime Minister of Japan, the President of the Philippines, the Prime Minister of India, the President of the European Council, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, etc., for their care and condolences to Taiwan, and called on everyone to unite and get through this time together. We hope Taiwan can regain peace as soon as possible. News headline: Forbes 2024 Global Rich List is released. Huang Rongxuan became the richest man in China and he is the richest in Taiwan. Release time: April 4, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News focus: Forbes announced the 2024 Global Billionaire List, with a total of 2,781 people on the list, 141 more than the previous year. Huang Rongxuan, CEO of Huida, has become the richest Chinese person with $77 billion, ranking 20th in the world. Quanta founder Lin Bailey became the richest man in Taiwan with $11 billion, ranking 190th in the world. Hongfu Industrial founder Zhang Kongyuan and Honhai founder Terry Gou entered the list with $8.6 billion and $7.5 billion respectively. The world's richest man is Arnault, CEO of LV Group, with a net worth of $232 billion. News headline: There will still be 6.5 to 7 strong earthquakes in 3 or 4 days. Emergency doctor, don't be in a hurry to open the door. The fire department teaches 4 tips to save your life. Release time: April 3, 2024. Data reference: Health 2.0. News highlights: Early this morning, a felt earthquake occurred across Taiwan. The magnitude reached 5 in the north and 7.2 in Hualien, causing serious disasters in various places. Emergency Department physician Wang Zihua reminded that the traditional golden triangle is not necessarily safe because large furniture can easily shift, causing fatal crushing injuries. He suggested that when an earthquake occurs, the 3 key points of get down, cover, and hold still should be adopted to reduce casualties. In addition, you should stay indoors and seek open space outdoors, and never rush to open the door. As aftershocks continue, pedestrians should pay attention to the safety of building structures, avoid taking elevators, and secure large furniture to avoid injuries caused by toppling. News headline: Walk this way to slim down your belly. Japanese expert teaches pinch and shake waist slimming method to lose 3 kilograms in just 5 minutes. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: Health 2.0. News highlights: Miko, a Japanese physical and mental fitness expert, pointed out that people over 40 are more troubled by protruding lower abdomen, but their lives can be transformed by modifying their physique. She suggested using the pinch and shake method to activate the muscles, shrink the belly inward, and make the figure slimmer. This method consumes calories, improves physical fitness, and achieves the effect of slimming down the lower abdomen. In addition, walking correctly can also help burn fat. It is recommended to swing your arms widely, increase your steps, and twist your body to make your abdominal muscles stronger and your waistline gradually smaller. News headline: Daijia starts her journey tomorrow. Han Kuyu takes on the important task of supporting the sedan chair and K Wenz pays homage. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News. News highlights: Taichung Daijia circumambulation activity is about to begin, attracting attention from all walks of life. Legislative Yuan Kuyu will play the role of supporting the sedan chair for Mizu. Ko Wenz will pay homage at 3:30 p.m., and Cai Kikang will also participate in the incense offering. Liu Zhihuan was unable to attend due to a trip to Singapore, but Han Kuyu will attend on behalf of the government. In addition, Vice President of the Legislative Yuan Zhang Qichen invited envoys from 9 countries stationed in Taiwan to participate. They will walk from the Daijia District Office to Zhenlan Palace at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon and attend the departure ceremony in the evening. News headline: The century-old cycle is coming. Is Taiwan afraid of a strong earthquake magnitude 9 or above? Meteorological Administration answered. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News. News highlights: According to the scientific explanation of the Central Meteorological Administration, Taiwan's fault length is relatively short, so the possibility of a super earthquake of magnitude 9 or above is relatively low. There are 33 active faults in Taiwan. The longest Huadong longitudinal valley fault is about 120 kilometers long, while the Kelungpyu fault is about 100 kilometers long. In comparison, the fault length of Japan's 311 earthquake was as high as 500 kilometers, which would have produced a strong earthquake with a magnitude of 9.0. Therefore, the possibility of a super earthquake of magnitude 9 or above in Taiwan is low. News headline: The most stable shelf. The earthquake twisted around and everything was lost. Thousands of people begged for the link, I can buy it. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlights: During the Hualien earthquake, a netizen shared that the shelves in his home shook violently during the earthquake, but the items on them were safe, which attracted the attention and likes of many netizens. This strange phenomenon is surprising, and many netizens have said that this is the most stable picture today. The design of the shelves has sparked more discussion, with some hoping that future buildings could use such designs to improve their earthquake resistance. However, some people pointed out that it may be the original design concept of the shelf, and this video was not shot at the time of the earthquake. News headline: Bowel cancer is getting younger. A 46-year-old man suffered from abdominal pain for 1 month for the third time. Doctors reveal 6 dangerous habits not to practice. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlights: Liao Mingkai, an attending physician at the Department of Gastroenterology, Rena Campus, Taipei City United Hospital, pointed out that modern people's irregular lives have made colorectal cancer patients younger. He shared the case of a 46-year-old male patient who went to the doctor due to persistent pain in the right upper abdomen for 1 month, but was found to have stage 3 ascending colon colorectal cancer. In this regard, Dr. Liao reminds people to avoid 6 dangerous habits, including lack of high-fiber foods, insufficient exercise, frequent consumption of fried foods, frequent consumption of barbecued or processed meats, smoking, etc. He emphasized that if you have these habits, you should seek regular medical screening to stay healthy. News headline: Experts warn. A trench-type earthquake of magnitude May 8 hit the Taipei Basin in the future. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Dongsan News. News highlights: Scholars warn that earthquakes with magnitude 6 or above have increased in the eastern seaboard in recent years, but they have not yet reached the expected largest earthquakes. Trench-type earthquakes may occur in the next 10 years, and may even reach a magnitude of 8 or more, which will have a particularly significant impact on the Taipei Basin. The Taipei Basin has a bowl-like topography, and the shock wave will continue to oscillate in the basin after propagating, and the impact will last long and be strong. Although the Hualien earthquake did not extend to land, the earthquake warned everyone to take precautions. News headline: The ashes of the ashes were broken in the 7.2 strong earthquake. Everyone was mixed together. The etiquette teacher gave 3 suggestions. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Dongsan News. News highlights: The Hualien earthquake caused the urn of the Saiyun Mountain ossuary pagoda to break and the ashes scattered on the ground, causing public concern. Ceremony Master Cao Shenghong put forward 3 suggestions for the aftermath. First, hold a ritual ceremony to comfort the soul. Second, collect the ashes and place them in several ossuaries or containers. Finally, set up a special area to place the concentrated ashes and erect a monument for family members to pay tribute. Bye. The recommendations aim to respect the deceased and give the family appropriate space for comfort and remembrance. News headline: Guo Quan criticizes Ma Yingzhi for being willing to become a tool of China's United Front just for the sake of his personal historical positioning. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Sanli News Network. News highlights: DPP legislator Guo Quan criticized former President Ma Yingzhi for participating in the Qingming Memorial Ceremony for Emperor Xianyuan in Shaanxi, China, saying that he was willing to become a tool of China's United Front, and accused him of not serving cross-strait peace or Taiwan's sovereignty, but only his personal history, position and act. Guo Quan believes that Ma Yingzhi's behavior is intended to create a sense of commonality between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait, but in fact it only encourages China's United Front and causes damage to Taiwan's interests. News headline: Hualien earthquake. Japan calls for emergency support and donations surge to 83.04 million yuan in 1 day. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Sanli News Network. News highlight: The Japanese non-profit organization Peace Wines Japan launched a donation campaign after the earthquake in Hualien, Taiwan, and has raised approximately NT $17.54 million as of today. Many Japanese people have donated generously to express their blessings and support for Taiwan, believing that they should help each other when Taiwan suffers disasters. Many messages on the donation platform expressed their prayers and support for the people of Taiwan, calling on everyone to work together and hoping that Taiwan would recover soon. News headline: Can McDonald's worship ancestors be used during Qingming Festival? The key to online exposure: look at the faces of elders. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: When preparing to pay homage to ancestors and sweep their tombs during the Tomb Sweeping Day, some netizens raised the question, can McDonald's be used to worship during the tomb sweeping day? This sparked a discussion. Opinions are divided. Some people believe that it should depend on family circumstances and the acceptance of elders is important, others believe that worshipping food is a personal choice and there are no absolute rules. This shows different views on traditional sacrificial practices and modern lifestyles. News headline: Joking actress underwent 38 rounds of chemotherapy and radiotherapy to fight cancer before she developed a new tumor. Current situation exposed. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: Spicy fresh chef and Taiwan joke actress Peng Xiaotong once experienced cervical cancer, received 38 rounds of radiotherapy and chemotherapy, and underwent surgery to remove the uterus, ovaries, and part of the pelvic lymph nodes. Although her weight suddenly increased by 18 kilograms, she actively adjusted her diet and regularly tracked her cancer index. The index is currently normal, but she found that she had an extra 1.2 cm hemangioma in her liver and needed to be tracked separately. Although she had never drank alcohol, the discovery of this tumor made her confused. Peng Xiaotong recently participated in the recording of the jokes program, which symbolizes that she has returned to normal life. News headline: Do you just wash strawberries when you eat them? A video showing bugs scurrying around on the epidermis under a microscope shocked netizens. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlight: A foreign netizen shared a video of a strawberry being observed under a microscope, and was shocked to see that the surface was covered with tiny insects, especially around the seeds. After the video was exposed, many netizens were horrified and said they would never dare to eat unwashed fruit again. Viewers were surprised to discover that even microorganisms invisible to the naked eye may be present on the surface and in the pulp of strawberries. The video has attracted more than 10 million views. Many people were deeply shocked and became more concerned about the cleanliness and safety of food. Some people also proposed soaking strawberries to cleanse microorganisms. News headline: The weather is getting warmer. During the change of seasons, it will be stored away and left out to the public in winter. Don't expose it to the sun as it will be damaged. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlight: As winter comes to an end, it is important to clean and maintain your quilt before putting it away. Quilts of different materials require different treatments. Down quilts cannot be washed or dried. They should be placed in a quilt cover and sent for dry cleaning. Avoid direct sunlight when basking in the sun. Wool quilts should not be washed. They should be dry cleaned and dried for 1 to 2 hours. Technical fiber is relatively easy to clean. It can be washed or dry cleaned according to the watermark and exposed to the sun for 1 to 2 hours. Silk quilts cannot be washed or dried. Avoid direct sunlight to protect protein fibers. Use a dehumidifier to remove moisture. Cleaning and maintenance of all types of quilts should follow corresponding instructions to ensure the quality and service life of the quilt. News headline: Terrifying eye drops were contaminated with superbacteria, killing one person and infecting dozens of others. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: A recent outbreak of superbug infection caused by contaminated eye drops in the UK has killed one person and affected dozens of patients. The British Health and Safety Authority found that 3 eye gels were contaminated with Burkholderia cepacia, which may be fatal to people with low immune function. At the end of November last year, a voluntary recall of AA-carb, Etasomer, and Perpetix eye gels was announced for patients with dry eye syndrome. As of March 21, there have been 52 confirmed cases related to this epidemic, and another 6 people may be affected. The market circulation of eye drops is still unclear. News headline: U.S. media praises TSMC for resuming work quickly without major losses. Release time: April 4, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: The Hualien earthquake has attracted global attention, and foreign media are particularly concerned about whether Taiwan's chip manufacturing will be affected. U.S. media praised TSMC for quickly evacuating its employees after the earthquake without causing major losses, and emphasized that TSMC has the ability to withstand earthquakes. The report pointed out that TSMC resumed work quickly, EUV and other key equipment were intact, and 70% of the equipment was restored within 10 hours after the earthquake. Despite the challenges posed by the earthquake, Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturers responded flexibly. In addition, Taiwan's earthquake-resistant technology and architectural upgrades can help mitigate losses, including improvements in response systems and rapid resource deployment. News headline: Accident map goes viral, netizens lamented I bought the wrong thing after seeing it. Experts, don't panic. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Recently, a business owner launched an accident map app, which sparked heated discussions among home buyers. However, experts pointed out that the app only provides an index of public information and cannot guarantee the accuracy of the data, and not all the accidents displayed belong to haunted houses. Regarding haunted houses, Chen Jiming pointed out that housing prices will be affected to varying degrees. The more dangerous a house, the greater the room for discount, but the buyer's willingness is lower, and bank loans are not easy. Home buyers should be aware of the impact of haunted houses and consider purchasing carefully. News headline: This electrical appliance was the worst after the 7.2 strong earthquake. Engineer revealed, 9 people reported for repairs in 4 hours, 2 tips to prevent blood loss in wallets. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights: A strong earthquake in Hualien caused 9 deaths and 1,011 injuries. Many people's TV sets were knocked down and damaged. Netizens shared the photos and sparked heated discussions on the internet, with many people saying they had the same experience. Professional maintenance engineers revealed that they have received many inquiries about replacing TV panels and reminded the public to install wall mounts or use anti-fall ropes to avoid similar losses. The disaster in Hualien was severe, with many buildings severely damaged, including collapsed and tilted buildings, as well as damage to roads and bridges. News headline: Dementia equals forgetfulness. Early symptoms: It's not memory loss. Doctors warn 3 signs to watch out for. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights: The early symptoms of dementia are not just memory loss, but more likely to include suspicion, delusions, personality changes, and wandering. The 10 major signs of dementia include memory that affects daily life, difficulty in planning and problem solving, difficulty in living and working, confusion about time and place, and difficulty in spatial relationships. People should increase their awareness of dementia. Early detection can help with early treatment and avoid delays in disease management. News headline: 30-year-old woman always feels tired and loves to eat one food that causes trouble. Doctor shouts, it's a diabetes warning sign. Release time, April 2, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlight: A 30-year-old woman mentioned chronic fatigue when she went to the doctor. The examination showed that in addition to insufficient vitamin B complex, she also had insulin resistance. The main reason was that her daily diet was mainly high in carbohydrates. Consuming too many carbohydrates can deplete B vitamins, leading to deficiency and increasing the risk of insulin resistance. Doctors recommend that in addition to supplementing B complex, you should also control your carbohydrate intake to solve fatigue problems and prevent potential diseases. News headline: A must-read for men. One action is essential when using the toilet. Doctor warns, female partner may get cancer. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News focus: Men should pay attention to washing their hands after going to the toilet. This small action is crucial to protecting women's health. Obstetricians and gynecologists remind that neglecting to wash hands may lead to HPV infection, thereby increasing the risk of cervical cancer in women. Hand washing prevents the spread of the virus to your partner and is essential for sexual health. Establishing hand washing habits is a reflection of the concept of personal hygiene and a responsible attitude towards the health of others. Therefore, men should wash their hands before and after urinating to protect their own and the health of others. News headline: What should I do if there is blood in my urine? Don't be nervous, it may be caused by these 3 conditions. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights: Finding blood in your urine may make you anxious, but don't worry too much. Sometimes it's caused by food dyes. If it is determined to be hematuria, it is divided into 2 types, visual and microscopic. It may be caused by stones, tumors, infections, etc. Painful hematuria may be due to infection or stones, while painless hematuria may be related to cancer, especially in the elderly. Exercise-induced hematuria is caused by excessive exercise or trauma, and is mostly a temporary phenomenon. However, if the condition worsens, you should seek medical examination as soon as possible. News headline: Urticaria forms caused by food? If you don't pay attention to 3 things, no wonder the urticaria never gets better. Release time, April 2, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights: Chronic urticaria is a common problem for patients and can be caused by a variety of factors. Abnormal histamine metabolism, immune system disorders and inappropriate medication may lead to chronicity. High histamine foods in the diet, attacks by the immune system on the thyroid gland, etc. can all aggravate symptoms. The correct way of taking medication is particularly important. Failure to follow the doctor's instructions may aggravate symptoms or even make the medication ineffective. For chronic urticaria, seek professional medical advice and follow your doctor's treatment instructions. News headline: 1 week after menstruation is the golden period to lose weight. Menstrual cycle weight loss method uses the menstrual cycle to adjust the diet and exercise menu, and the weight loss effect is almost twice as fast. Release time, April 3, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights, using the different phases of the menstrual cycle to adjust your diet and exercise can lead to more effective weight loss. During menstruation, focus on high fiber, easy to absorb foods and avoid excessive dieting. During the golden period, reduce starch intake, increase protein and calcium, and engage in aerobic exercise. During the remission period, increase the intake of iron and vitamin B, and avoid high-fat foods. During the stasis period, eat more potassium-containing foods, avoid overly salty foods, and control appetite. Timely exercise is also important, such as soft stretching and yoga to help relax, while aerobic exercise and weight training can promote metabolism and burn calories. News headline, which fruits and vegetables have the highest vitamin C? Top 10 high vitamin C fruits and vegetables ranking list. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights, red guava has the highest vitamin C content among fruits, containing 214 mg of vitamin C per 100 grams, followed by pearl guava, with a content of 194 mg. Other fruits high in vitamin C include custard apple, longan, jujube, golden kiwi, sanguine, kiwi, strawberry and papaya, which contain 58 to 99 mg of vitamin C per 100 grams. Among vegetables, red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers and green peppers have the highest vitamin C content at 138 mg, 128 mg and 108 mg per 100 grams respectively. The recommended daily intake of vitamin C is 100 mg, which can be achieved by eating about 1/4 of a guava or 1 to 1.5 kiwi fruits. News headline, banana protects eyes and relieves constipation. Doctors reveal one of the most anti-cancer products, it is a powerful immune enhancer. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Yahoo News. News highlights, bananas are divided into 3 types according to their maturity. Green/immature bananas contain high amounts of resistant starch, which is good for intestinal health and are suitable for diabetics. Ripe bananas contain sugar and antioxidants, which protect vision and fight cancer, and are immune enhancer. Brown/overripe bananas contain a small amount of starch and can be used as a healthy sweetener or to make ice cream. They are still rich in potassium, vitamin B6, and folic acid. Bananas with different ripeness levels are suitable for different groups, but those with digestive problems should be aware that unripe bananas may affect its effect. News headline, make a fortune following China Lung? International boutiques Lancome and Boucheron take the opportunity to grab the market. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, in 2024, the Year of the Dragon, Beijing deliberately redefined the Chinese dragon as Lung to distinguish it from the dragon in Western culture, emphasizing that Lung represents the auspicious image of the Chinese dragon. The move was widely welcomed by the Chinese people and attracted the attention of international brands. Companies such as Hawaii Eye and Bubble Mart have launched corresponding products, and international brands such as Boucheron and Lancome have also actively followed suit, riding on the Lung Year trend to enter the Chinese market and deepen their connections with consumers. The promotion of the Lung concept not only demonstrates the influence of Chinese culture, but is also expected to increase the international visibility of Chinese culture. News headline, can AI predict death? Danish study uses algorithm to predict life trajectory. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, using artificial intelligence and large amounts of data, Danish researchers have developed a system called LIFE2VEC that aims to predict an individual's development at all stages of life, even until the end of life. This research explores patterns and relationships in health, society, and economics, but is still in the academic stage. The algorithm uses data from Statistics Denmark and can predict events such as death and migration with an accuracy of up to 78%, but its practical application has yet to be developed. Potential applications of this tool include health status prediction and personal development path analysis. News headline, study confirms, 6 seemingly harmless habits may increase the risk of dementia. Release time, January 30, 2024. Data reference, Vision Magazine. News highlights, the impact of dementia on individuals and families is huge, but some lifestyle habits may increase the risk of dementia. Sitting for long periods of time, lack of exercise, insufficient social interaction, staying up late, chronic stress, alcohol abuse, overeating, and unbalanced nutrition may all affect brain health. You can reduce your risk of dementia through regular exercise, active social interaction, getting enough sleep, reducing stress, drinking moderate amounts of alcohol and eating a healthy diet. Early medical attention and evaluation may help delay the onset of dementia. News title, Monetary Policy, the United States, Japan, and Taiwan have different opinions. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, The Epoch Times. News highlights, global inflation data tends to fall, and the U.S. Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates this year, but Taiwan and the Bank of Japan have different trends. The strong performance of the U.S. economy may affect the Fed's interest rate cut plan, while Taiwan's central bank is raising interest rates due to overheating and speculation in the stock market, with the intention of cooling the market. The Bank of Japan ended the 17-year era of negative interest rates, but still maintains monetary easing policy to attract foreign investment and promote domestic demand. With the impact of global economic trends and US-Japan relations, there are still variables in the policies of central banks. News headline: Taiwan earthquake president takes charge of disaster relief. Strong contrast between the two sides arouses heated debate. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: The Epoch Times. News highlights: After the 7.2 magnitude earthquake in Hualien, Taiwanese leader Tsai Ing-wen and Vice President Lai Ching-te acted quickly to demonstrate the high efficiency of disaster response. In contrast, netizens are clearly disgusted with the disappearance of Chinese leaders during disasters. Xi Jinping did not go to the disaster area in person, which aroused public opinion. Taiwanese civil servants actively participated in disaster relief work in the disaster area, which is different from the disappearance of Chinese officials. This contrast shows the differences in disaster response and government efficiency between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. News headline: Experts take stock of the 5 major money shortages in the CCP. Release time: April 3, 2024. Data reference: The Epoch Times. News highlights: A researcher at a Chinese financial think tank pointed out that 2024 may be the most difficult year for China's finances. Worries come from many aspects. The debt problem is serious, with central and local government debt close to 3 times GDP. Large infrastructure projects have been suspended. Several provinces and cities have suspended construction projects. The CCP issued 50-year treasury bonds for the first time, indicating financial difficulties. The real estate industry is facing a serious shortage of money, and some companies have high debts. Broad money M2 is close to 300 trillion, reflecting the excessive expansion of money supply. Overall, China may enter a new era of financial difficulties. News headline: 7 things not to do after an earthquake, some of which you may not know. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: The Epoch Times. News focus: After an earthquake, you need to avoid touching electrical appliances, walking barefoot, using open flames, jumping out of cars, using elevators, making phone calls and surfing the internet, and performing rescue operations alone. Instead, check for fire sources, wear slippers to protect your feet, make sure evacuation routes are clear, prepare an emergency kit, and evacuate outdoors based on building conditions. Important principles are to stay safe and stay calm to make informed decisions. News headline: TSMC's rapid recovery after the earthquake highlights the resilience of Taiwan's chip industry. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: The Epoch Times. News highlights: Taiwan was hit by a magnitude 7.2 earthquake on April 3. In less than 10 hours, TSMC announced that more than 70% of its chip production equipment had resumed operation, demonstrating Taiwan's excellent preparedness for earthquakes and other disasters. However, the earthquake may have a certain impact on the supply chain, especially since Taiwan has a huge market share in key components such as semiconductors and needs to operate around the clock, and any disruption may result in high costs. The rapid recovery of Taiwan's semiconductor industry is due to its enhanced earthquake resistance, engineers' overtime work day and night, and the round-the-clock cooperation of the park's supply chain manufacturers, demonstrating Taiwan's unique supply chain resilience and competitiveness. News headline: Yellen visits China to put pressure on the CCP and call for an end to unfair competition. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: The Epoch Times. News highlights: U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen held talks with Chinese Communist Party officials in Guangzhou, emphasizing solving the problems of overcapacity and product dumping caused by the Chinese Communist Party's subsidy policies and providing a level playing field for American companies and workers. Yellen warned China to stop unfair trade practices, especially its focus on overcapacity, and said the United States seeks to build a healthy economic relationship that benefits both sides. The move could lead the United States to raise tariffs on some Chinese products, reigniting tensions in the economic relationship between the two countries. News headline: The CCP's friends are also worried about China's economy. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: The Epoch Times. News highlights: Since 2023, the CCP has faced serious economic challenges, leading to widespread concerns at home and abroad about its economic prospects. Even some people who have been close to the CCP have expressed concerns. Some well-known economists such as Roche, Daliot, and Summers have criticized the Chinese Communist Party's economic policies, pointing out medium and long-term growth problems, insufficient consumption, and geopolitical conflicts between China and the United States. Although the CCP still advocates reform and opening up in words, in fact it has become increasingly rigid and unwilling to carry out real market reforms. Faced with this situation, the CCP has become more isolated in its international relations, and has even implemented self-censorship on its big friends and old friends, which raises concerns about its future development. News headline: A magical early warning before a major earthquake. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: The Epoch Times. News highlights: Before the 1920 Haiwan earthquake, a series of miraculous omens appeared, such as monks and Taoists holding juju peaches and shouting "Escape early," children singing swing song, etc. These omens warned of impending disaster, but only a few people understood their meaning and escaped. What is worth pondering is that these omens actually point out that the root cause of the disaster lies in the depravity of human nature and moral decay. In the face of today's various natural and man-made disasters, God's early warning has already appeared. Can we accept it and be vigilant? News title: 0403 Hualien earthquake, 12 people died in Taiwan, 11 people are still missing. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: A magnitude 7.2 earthquake occurred in the waters east of Hualien. So far, 10 people have died, 1,133 people have been injured, 604 people are trapped, and 11 people are missing. Among them, 391 people were trapped in Tianxiang Elite Hotel, 65 people have been evacuated, and 266 people and 125 employees are still waiting to be rescued. The missing persons include 6 people from Shakadang Trail, 1 person from Zhonghe Mining Area, 1 person from Luoshao, 1 person from Confluence Green Water Camping Area, and 2 foreigners. Search and rescue work is ongoing, hoping to find the missing persons as soon as possible and ensure the safety of the trapped persons. News headline: Uranus demolition in progress. Residents are worried that their belongings will be treated as rubbish and they will be blocked when trying to enter dangerous buildings. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: Hualien Uranus building is tilted severely due to the recent 7.2 magnitude earthquake. The tilt angle has reached 22 degrees, and it is only 4 meters away from the Lixiang Hotel. The local government has started demolition operations, but the process is dangerous and residents are asked to stay away. A woman was blocked from entering the building after she cried out because she feared her belongings would be discarded. The Lixiang Hotel was also affected, and the manager expressed hope that the demolition work would proceed smoothly. Residents in the area have taken steps to protect their buildings and look forward to life returning to normal soon. News headline: Taiwan shelter tops the list of hot searches and is praised by Japanese netizens. Tsuchi reveals the reason for the design of the Fui screen. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: The earthquake in Hualien, Taiwan caused serious impact. The Hualien County government opened 8 open spaces for people to evacuate, and Tsuchi Foundation provided 50 tents and living supplies. Among them, the Jingxi Fui screen has attracted much attention, and Japanese media and netizens have praised it. Tsuchi explained that this screen originated from the Hualien earthquake in 2018. In order to improve the privacy of the shelter, Tsuchi collaborated with Jingxi Humanities to develop this environmentally friendly screen. Not only can it be used as space isolation, the material is recycled plastic and has flame retardant effect. Tsuchi stated that it will continue to improve its disaster care mechanism and provide the most considerate care to those in need. News headline: Geng Shuang thanks the world for Taiwan. Ministry of Foreign Affairs approves, using earthquake disasters to fight cognitive warfare. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: A strong earthquake hit Hualien, and the international community expressed condolences. Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau personally held a press conference to express support, and the Congressional Taiwan Connection of the U.S. House of Representatives also pledged full support. However, China sent aircraft carriers and other armed forces to demonstrate across the Taiwan Strait, and even spoke on behalf of Taiwan at the United Nations Security Council to thank international aid. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs severely condemned China's use of disasters for political manipulation and denounced it as a shameless act. The international community's support for Taiwan is firm and warm, in sharp contrast to China's duplicitous behavior. News headline: The crowd at Daejeon is estimated to exceed 200,000 and 5 million meals are provided free to believers. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: Daejeon will officially set off at 11 p.m., starting a 9-day and 8-night journey around the country. The crowd is expected to exceed 200,000, attracting a large number of believers and tourists to worship. Surrounding snack vendors are also busy preparing ingredients, and sales are expected to double than usual. The temple set up a snack station in the parking lot and arranged for 1,000 volunteers to prepare free meals. It is expected to cost more than 5 million. During the Daijimizu tour, merchants will receive a large number of customers, and business opportunities in the surrounding area will flourish. News headline: Japanese donation platform accumulates 100 million yen. Japanese people in Taiwan, Japanese donations to Taiwan will not stop. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News focus: a 7.2 earthquake occurred in Hualien, Taiwan on the 3rd, attracting international attention. The Japanese government announced a donation of $1 million to assist in reconstruction, and Japanese people have also donated. As of this afternoon, donations have reached 100 million yen. Many Japanese netizens expressed their desire to repay Taiwan, believing that Taiwan has always supported Japan and now is the time to repay the favor. Japanese bloggers emphasized that although some people believe that Taiwan does not need foreign aid, the Japanese support for Taiwan will not change and they hope that Japan-Taiwan friendship will last forever. News headline: Xiao Maiken's visit to Europe is suspected of being followed by Chinese officials. Foreign media reported that she almost had a car accident. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: Vice President Xiao Maiken was followed by the Chinese embassy during her visit to Europe, causing a diplomatic turmoil. The Czech Ministry of Foreign Affairs has protested and is considering classifying those involved as undesirable and may revoke diplomatic immunity or deport them. This move highlights China's diplomatic pressure on Taiwan and poses a threat to my country's diplomatic development. Legislator Wu Saiyao pointed out that China is destroying diplomatic space with Taiwan and our country's diplomacy must remain vigilant. Xiao Maiken's diplomatic resilience under this situation also shows that the Czech government attaches great importance to my country's friendship. News headlines: Free laundry, relaxing massage, Hualien earthquake, people from all walks of life send warmth to help victims. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: After the Hualien earthquake, many people lost their homes, but the shelters were filled with heartwarming assistance. Volunteers read and play games with children, laundromats wash clothes for free, physical therapists relieve stress, and photographers provide free ID photos. The outpouring of love from all over the country has made the victims grateful, demonstrating the unity and warmth of Taiwanese society. News headline: Tourists thank you in tears. Greek man who saved more than 10 lives turned out to be the son-in-law of the former ambassador. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: During the Hualien earthquake, Greek tourists used their rescue experience to save many trapped passengers. One of them was the son-in-law of Cai Huang, the former ambassador to New Zealand. He led the trapped people out safely. The victims were so grateful that they even took photos with him. The actions of this rescue hero showed the spirit of a friend in need and was deeply appreciated and admired. News headline: Bolivia expresses concern about earthquake disaster to China, Ministry of Foreign Affairs blasts CCP puppets. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News focus: The Hualien earthquake has attracted the attention of more than 100 countries and international organizations, but it has also brought about a crisis in cognitive operations. Bolivia, South America, expressed concern about the earthquake in Taiwan on social platforms, but targeted China, clearly belittling Taiwan's international status. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs solemnly protested, accusing the Bolivian government of acting under the influence of the Chinese Communist Party. This incident highlights China's shameless behavior of using disasters to conduct cognitive operations. At the same time, China created and spread false information, pretending that past events were the Hualien earthquake, triggering public outrage. News headline: Twice Chae-young admits her love. Falling in love with male singer Zion.T, who is 10 years older than him. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Ida Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: Twice member Chae-young publicly admitted her love to the popular male singer Zion.T, who is 10 years older than her. Her agency, JYP Entertainment, confirmed the relationship, saying that the two parties have a crush on each other and are dating. Chae-young and Zion.T were introduced by artist friends. Not only do they date in public, but they also generously introduce each other to people around them. Chae-young is a member of Twice. She serves as a rapper and sub-vocalist, and is also involved in song production and album design. Zion.T is a well-known singer-songwriter and music producer. Their common interests and music background may be the reason for attracting each other. News headline: Waited for 8 years. Big Bang Daesang will perform on stage in May, meeting fans at a venue with 3,000 people. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Ida Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: Daesung, a member of the popular South Korean group Big Bang, will come to Taiwan on May 11 to start a concert tour at the Taipei International Convention Center. This is also the first stop of his overseas tour, which is of great significance. After Dae-sung completed his solo concert in Korea, he will soon embark on a Taiwan tour as a solo singer, arousing fans' expectations. The performance will include songs from his new single album Falling Slowly. Fans can purchase tickets starting at 1:30 p.m. on April 8 to get a sneak peek of Dae-sung's exciting performance. News headline: IU is coming to Taiwan. She showed up at the airport with short, shoulder-length hair and reached out to warn fans and reporters, "Watch your rear." Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Ida Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: South Korean actress IU arrived in Taiwan one day early to prepare for 2 concerts at the Taipei Arena during the Tomb Sweeping Day holiday weekend. Although South Korea strictly prohibits leaking flights, she appeared at Incheon Airport at noon on the 5th. Fans at the scene called her Sister Ji-eun. She interacted with fans in a friendly manner and reminded everyone to pay attention to the rear. This concert is IU's first time at the Taipei Arena. All 20,000 tickets have been sold out. The organizer also adopted a real name authentication system for all concerts to fight against scalpers. News headline: The #1 person in Taiwan's entertainment industry. Xiao Qiang donates 1 million for disaster relief, let's work together. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Ida Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: A 7.2 strong earthquake occurred off the coast of eastern Taiwan, and Hualien was particularly severely affected. Actress Xiao Qiang announced a donation of 1 million yuan for disaster relief, becoming the first Taiwanese artist to donate. She has been enthusiastic about charity for a long time, donating the proceeds from the calendar every year, and lending a helping hand during disasters such as earthquakes. Xiao Qiang called on everyone to work together to rebuild after the disaster. This act of kindness touched many people and showed her kindness and charity. News headline: Meng Zhengru issued an apology. Huang Zijiao is really wrong, this is the marriage I chose. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Ida Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: Meng Zhengru said that Huang Zijiao's illegal behavior is intolerable, and she will accept the punishment of her husband and assume the marital responsibilities of her own choice. She pointed out that Huang Zijiao felt guilty and remorseful for his mistakes, and she would fully accompany and contribute. Meng Zhengru mentioned that Huang Zijiao was not aware of the problem of purchasing illegal pornographic films, but emphasized that the purchase of illegal pornographic films has led to more women being victimized, and once again apologized to those affected. News headline: The soul summoning and blood sacrifice in Broken Tomb are real. Professional witches tense up, Lee Dae-oxian is the most dangerous. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Ida Day Starlight Cloud. News highlights: The real spirit summoning and blood sacrifice scenes in the South Korean thriller Tomb have aroused widespread discussion. The ritual props and scriptures used on the set are real and may attract ghosts. When professional witch Ko Chun-jae directed actors Kim Go-eun and Lee Dae-hyun, she stayed vigilant because their performances might actually trigger supernatural events. Although Jin Jae-yun chants sutras, Lee Dae-oxuan may be affected by the supernatural physique because he is in the most dangerous position. Maiko took various measures to ensure safety on set, including spilling alcohol. News headline: Is the monthly dividend distribution of ETF good? There is a big disadvantage of monthly dividend ETF. It is recommended not to bet on just one tranche. Release time: April 3, 2024. Information reference: Shangzhou Fortune Network. News highlights: High dividend ETFs with monthly allocations are attractive to investors because of the cash inflow every month. However, monthly distribution does not guarantee that dividends will be paid every month, because the stock market fluctuates and the dividend distribution times of constituent stocks are different. In addition, the monthly remittance fees for allocating ETFs may also burden the small bourgeoisie and affect the actual rate of return. Investors should evaluate the overall performance of the ETF and the total amount of annual dividends, rather than just focusing on the frequency of dividends. The best way is to diversify risks and choose quarterly allocation ETFs that pay dividends in different months. News headline: Double corpse case after falling from building in Taichung. 2 men disappeared mysteriously and died after falling 8 m in the next second. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News. News highlights: A factory in Shengang District, Taichung was shocked to report a fatal fall. 2 missing Vietnamese migrant workers, aged 29 and 38, had an accident while having a drinking party in the factory. After hearing 2 loud noises, the workers went out to check and found 2 people lying in a pool of blood. They were immediately sent to the hospital for emergency treatment, but they still died. Preliminary investigation showed that the 2 people may have climbed onto the roof while drunk, accidentally stepped on the lighting cover, and fell from the 8-meter-high roof. The police are still investigating the cause of the incident. News headline: Good luck with Qingming charging. 3 Chinese zodiac signs are prosperous after taking the holidays. Happy events come in succession, they get promoted and get divorced. Release time, April 4, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlights. The numerology column pointed out that after the Qingming festival, the zodiac signs tiger, snake, and monkey will usher in very strong luck for nobles and wealth. People born in the year of the tiger may face challenges and changes, but they must remain calm and confident. Those born in the year of the snake are on the rise in career, but may have some emotional setbacks and need more communication. Those born in the year of the monkey will feel relaxed and happy, with a rich social life, and there are career opportunities, and singles are also expected to encounter romantic encounters. News headline: the 90-year-old neighbor's grandmother sends him 5 million yuan and makes a request. Ordinary people hesitate, excited but afraid. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlights. A nearly 90-year-old lonely grandma plans to donate her savings of more than 5 million to her neighbors, but requires that she be worshipped every year after her death on her death anniversary and Qingming festival. Neighbors faced the dilemma of accepting the money, fearing it might cause trouble later. Netizens suggest that you handle it with caution and consider asking a lawyer to make a will or notarize it to ensure legality. Others cautioned against potential disputes, but others believed that accepting the money was a sign of filial piety to grandma and suggested adhering to her terms as much as possible. News headline: Legislative yuan decoration is a waste of public funds. South Korea U kills the chicken to scare the monkey, behind-the-scenes revelation of surge in satisfaction. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlights. The behind-the-scenes podcast hosted by Xiaojialo invited Fan Kaiming, deputy manager of the TVBS News Department, to reveal some inside stories of the legislative yuan. K. Jianming is a dean who likes to brag to reporters, but Fan Kaiming pointed out that he can also be very cruel to reporters and even ask reporters to stand at attention. After Han Kuo-yu took office, the atmosphere in the legislative yuan changed, showing respect for public opinion. Fan Kaiming revealed some absurd situations in the legislative yuan, such as the high cost of decoration and frequent elevator failures. Han Kuo-yu unexpectedly became famous for eating fried buns, revealing some ordinary aspects of politicians. News headline: Aftershocks hit the strange phase again. Thousands of milkfish exploded en masse and died suddenly. The horror is all recorded. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlights. After the Hualien 403 earthquake, an astonishing scene appeared in Tainan's fish pond. Thousands of milkfish began to jump continuously the day before the earthquake. Some fish even jumped ashore and died suddenly. This bizarre phenomenon is similar to the Taitung earthquake in the past and makes people feel frightened. Local fish farmers said that the jumping of milkfish schools lasted for several hours, and it was not until the earthquake ended that things calmed down. This strange behavior may be a sign before an earthquake, causing people to be alert. News headline: 30 hours before the strong earthquake in Hualien, the Philippines was shocked to see 1.5 m earthquake fish. Fishermen were afraid of explosion. It was not a coincidence. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlight: a Filipino fisherman caught an oarfish on Kalingaman Island 30 hours before the Hualien earthquake, which triggered his thinking about folklore. Folks believe that the appearance of oarfish in shallow waters may indicate an earthquake, which surprised fishermen. The oarfish is a deep-sea fish that rarely appears on the surface, so it is nicknamed the earthquake fish. Although the folklore legend is just for reference, fishermen were puzzled by the strong earthquake that occurred after catching such a fish, and began to seriously think that this might be more than a coincidence. News headline: Evil fire engulfs homes in Tainan. An accident occurred when she was burning firewood to take a bath and 1 million cash was burned on the spot. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlights: a fire suddenly broke out in a house in Ren District, Tainan City this afternoon, causing the first floor to be engulfed in flames. The Tainan City Fire Department immediately dispatched 18 vehicles and 40 people to rescue the fire. The fire is now under control. The cause of the fire is suspected to be that the resident accidentally ignited firewood while taking a bath, causing the fire to spread. Because his mother passed away, the resident had just received the insurance money to prepare for funeral arrangements, and his savings totaled more than 1 million. Unfortunately, he was unable to take away his belongings when he escaped. He watched helplessly as his home and savings were destroyed, and he felt helpless. Details will be clarified after police investigation. News headline: 1,000-foot cliff has only one rope. LU cleaners work hard to pick up garbage. Net, life is like grass. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, TVBS News. News highlights: the Tianmen Mountain scenic area in Hunan Province has recently sparked widespread discussion among netizens. A video showed cleaning staff working hard like Spider-Man on the towering and steep cliffs, picking up garbage discarded by tourists. Despite the dangerous situation, these brave workers continued to work hard and demonstrated their selfless dedication. However, it is lamentable that although some people risk their lives to clean, there are still tourists who ignore their efforts and continue to throw away garbage. This behavior is worth pondering. News headline: It's hard for small parties to survive. Taiwan reform disbanded Suohuansi, will continue to promote reform. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News. News highlights: Taiwan reform has been disbanded since March 2, 2024, becoming another small disappearing party in Taiwan. Party founder Suohuansi said that it is difficult for a small party to survive, with limited funds and difficulty in cultivating talents. Although it is disbanded, he and the party's lofty ideals will continue to pay attention to and promote reform issues by writing books and newspapers, participating in social movements, etc. Taiwan's reform advocates revitalizing the economy and taking care of the disadvantaged. Although it has ended, the spirit of reform will not stop. News headline: This disease attacks all organs of the body, such as stroke. Food safety, stress, etc. can all cause the disease. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News. News highlights: According to the Ministry of Health and Welfare, autoimmune diseases rank third among the 10 most serious injuries and illnesses in Taiwan, and are also the third most common outpatient diseases. This type of disease causes the immune system to abnormally activate and attack its own organs, including ankylosing spondylitis, rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, etc. It cannot be cured and requires lifelong medication. The reasons are complex and may be related to genes, hormones, stress, air pollution, allergies, diet, etc. Early detection and treatment can avoid organ damage, such as pulmonary fibrosis, cerebral stroke, etc. Through individual cases, we remind you to pay attention to physical symptoms and avoid delaying medical treatment. A balanced diet, normal work and rest, and moderate exercise can maintain good health. News headline: Don't be careless after the Hualien earthquake. Astrologers reveal that these 4 days may lead to another disaster. Be careful of aftershocks and thunderstorms. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News. News highlights: According to the guidance of teacher Li Jingwei, an authority on Vedic astrology in Taiwan, since Venus enters Pisces on April 2, people should pay attention to various changes this month. Due to Mercury retrograde, disasters such as earthquakes and tsunamis may occur from April 10 to 13, as well as possible severe thunderstorms, so Taiwan must be extra vigilant. At the same time, Mercury retrograde may also cause problems such as brain confusion, technical failures, and internet fraud. A total solar eclipse will occur in the United States, Mexico, and Canada on April 8, which may bring disasters such as earthquakes and tornadoes, but it is also an opportunity to focus on growth. Li Jingwei reminded that even if Mercury retrograde ends on April 26, you still need to pay attention to possible risks of natural and man-made disasters from the 23rd to the 25th. News headline: Local actress divorced rich businessman. After 19 years of marriage to a wealthy family, she burst into tears late at night. I'm glad I got divorced. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News. News highlights: Actress Hiruyun suffered a double blow after her marriage broke up. First, her 19-year marriage ended with her ex-husband, and then her father passed away from lung cancer, which plunged her into grief. She confessed to feeling defeated and taking longer to heal. After her father's death, she was deeply grieved and put all work on hold. Recalling the difficulties of the divorce, she promised her late father that she would keep her promise and take good care of her family. She lamented that her divorce was the right decision, otherwise she would not be able to devote herself to taking care of her family. News headline: Love to eat 2 foods. No smoking, no alcohol, no family history, 50-year-old female surprised by cancer. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: TVBS News. News highlight: A 50-year-old woman who does not smoke or drink, has no chronic disease or family history, has felt upper abdominal discomfort in the past month and lost 9 kilograms in weight. An abdominal ultrasound examination revealed a 4 cm shadow on the pancreas, which was highly suspected to be pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is difficult to detect early through blood tests or symptom capture. When screening detects asymptomatic pancreatic cancer, the tumor may be smaller than 1 cm. The 5-year survival rate of surgery at this time can be as high as 80%. Pancreatic cancer patients who do not smoke, drink, or have a family history may be related to acquired factors such as eating habits and lack of exercise, so they need to be extra careful. News headline: Ma Ying-jeou pays homage to the Yellow Emperor's mausoleum with a word. Hong Kong media is shocked, it goes straight to the heart of Green Camp. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: former Taiwan President Ma Ying-jeou called on young people in Taiwan to remember the Chinese culture and national roots during the Shaanxi Memorial Ceremony to the Yellow Emperor's Mausoleum, and to be proud of their identity as descendants of the Yan and Huang emperors. This statement was seen by the Hong Kong media as a direct reference to the China policy promoted by the Democratic Progressive Party for many years, emphasizing the fact that both sides of the Taiwan Strait share the same origin, and warning that cross-strait relations will worsen as a result. The article pointed out that Ma Ying-jeou's remarks highlighted concerns about current political trends and called on Taiwanese society to reflect on the direction of cross-strait relations. News headline: Taiwan shelter appears in Japanese news. Taking into account privacy, provide hot food photo exposure. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: a strong earthquake off the coast of Hualien left many local people homeless. The simple shelters provided by Tsuchi were highly praised by Japanese netizens. These shelters not only protected the privacy of the victims, but also provided hot meals, attracting attention from Japanese television and causing heated discussions. Japanese netizens have praised this simple cubicle shelter on social platforms, and pointed out that Taiwan is far better than Japan in protecting the privacy of disaster victims and providing hot food. This also makes people realize that Taiwan's measures have certain advantages in disaster response. News headline: Is green energy the reason why there was no major blackout? The truth is exposed and the DPP is in great embarrassment. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlight: compared with the 921 earthquake, the Hualien earthquake did not cause large-scale blackouts in the power system, causing some people to praise green energy and power storage systems. However, pediatrician Wang Jianfeng pointed out that Taiwan's energy storage system still mainly relies on pumped hydropower, not green energy storage, and its capacity is relatively small. Wang Jianfeng further pointed out that when power is insufficient, expensive liquid natural gas still needs to be used to generate electricity and pump water, which increases the cost of power generation. He emphasized that there is no country or city in the world that relies solely on renewable energy for power supply, so Taiwan should carefully consider its energy structure rather than rely too much on photovoltaics or wind energy. News headline: People question where the 720 million donated to charity will be used. Hualien County government refuted, only 2.24 million yuan. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: the Hualien County government refuted rumors that the amount of donations donated to Hualien was as high as 720 million yuan, emphasizing that so far only 2,241,105 yuan has been confirmed to be accounted for. The county government mentioned that the donation account is called the Hualien County Private Disaster Relief Donation Account for Major Disasters and called on the public to continue donating to assist in post-disaster recovery efforts. County Magistrate Su Jinwei thanked enterprises for their donations, but pointed out that the actual donation amount may vary due to the transfer time difference. The Hualien County government also provided information on donation methods and tax filing to facilitate the public to help the disaster areas tide over the difficulties, and stated that public donations can be listed as income tax deductions when filing taxes. News headline: Announcement of the list after the Qingming festival holiday. It is said that Li King favored Zhou Rongta to form the cabinet, and his deputy cabinet was Kuo Luo Wenjia. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: President-elect Li Qingda of the Democratic Progressive Party will take office on May 20. Zhou Rongta is rumored to be the cabinet candidate, and Luo Wenjia may be the deputy cabinet minister, which has attracted attention. Zhou Rongta has rich experience and eloquence within the party and is regarded as the leader of Li Qin's government. Luo Wenjia is Zhou Rongta's collaborator, and the two work together well. This move may be supported by the emerging faction Democracy Living Water. Although not the first choice of all factions, it is still regarded as an acceptable candidate. As for the position of Defense Minister, Lieutenant General Gu Liqiang and Lieutenant General Li Zongwei are the most high-profile candidates. News headline: Aftershocks hit 603 days. Netizens were shocked when they saw the scene in Hualien. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: a 7.2 magnitude earthquake occurred offshore Hualien on the 3rd, causing major damage and continued aftershocks, triggering panic among residents. A female netizen found many people wearing safety helmets while shopping at Chuanlian in Hualien, reflecting local residents' fear of earthquakes. After the photo was exposed, netizens sparked heated discussions. Some people said that the crisis awareness of Hualien people deserves recognition, but others believed that wearing safety helmets in supermarkets is a common practice among Taiwanese people, and it may not be entirely due to the earthquake. The move still highlights the psychological impact of the earthquake on local people. News headline: Major car accident in Bali. The coupling car lost control and caused a 7-vehicle pileup. The female passenger of the heavy-duty aircraft OHCA was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. Release time, April 6, 2024. Data reference, Zhongtian News. News highlights: a major car accident occurred on the Taipei port ramp under Line 61 in Beilatai, New Taipei City today, 6th, at 10 a.m. A connected vehicle lost control and caused a pile-up accident, including one connected vehicle, one gravel truck, and 4 a small passenger car and a heavy machine are included. In the accident, a woman in her 50s who was in the back seat of the heavy plane suffered OHCA on the spot and was rushed to Tomsui Mackay Hospital for rescue. The detailed cause of the accident is still pending further investigation by the police. News headlines: not just earthquakes. April's total solar eclipse meets Mercury retrograde Ganda. Numerologists warn, another major natural disaster may occur. Release time, April 6, 2024. Data reference, Zhongtian News. News highlights: astrologer Li Jingwei predicts that Mercury will retrograde to Ganda this month, coupled with a total solar eclipse, which may cause a major natural disaster, and the solar eclipse will affect at least 4 years. She pointed out that the conjunction of Pisces and Rahu this month may lead to marital changes and increased love drama. After Venus enters Aries, it will bring positive financial fortune, but you need to pay attention to traffic accidents and communication failures during Mercury retrograde. The total solar eclipse on April 8, accompanied by Mercury retrograde Ganda, may trigger major changes that will affect individuals in the country for more than 4 years. Li Jingwei reminded people to pay special attention to safety and communication during this period. News headline: Fu Kunkai denounces catastrophic disasters will affect the ostomy industry and delay future generations, don't benefit from disasters. Release time, April 6, 2024. Data reference, Zhongtian News. News highlights: Hualien County legislator Fu Kunkai expressed condolences to the rescuers on the 6th and expressed his gratitude to the National Special Search Team, the military and all rescue personnel for their participation in the rescue operation. He emphasized that rescue is crucial in this 7.2 magnitude earthquake, especially during the golden rescue time. Several people are still missing and all efforts must be made to carry out search and rescue work. Fu Kunkai reminded everyone to respect nature and revere heaven and earth, saying that only through prayer can disasters be quelled, and rescue operations are a top priority. He called on all parties to work together to provide disaster relief without seeking any personal gain, expressing his concern and support for people in distress. News headline: the Malaysia XI second meeting is postponed to the 10th. Ma Ying-jeou takes high-speed train to Beijing, officials keep secret. Release time, April 7, 2024. Data reference, Zhongtian News. News highlights: former Taiwan President Ma Ying-jeou led 20 young students from the Daju Academy to Guangdong Province, Shaanxi Province, and Beijing in mainland China for an 11-day visit and exchange. The Malaysia XI meeting, originally scheduled to be held with Chinese President Xi Jinping on the 8th, has been postponed to the 10th according to the latest news. Ma Ying-jeou visited the Shaanxi History Museum on the morning of the 7th, and planned to go to the Xi'an Temple to visit the Big Wild Goose Pagoda, and then take the high-speed rail to Beijing. Mainland officials arranged his trip in Beijing, including visiting Beijing city leaders and visiting some scenic spots in Beijing. The postponement of this meeting may be in response to the US-Japan Summit on the 10th and the US-Japan-Philippines Summit on the 11th. News headline: super evil photos reveal Chu Wa and Xiang La rumored to be suffering from food poisoning. Ordered to close business, Wang Pin apologized. Release time, April 7, 2024. Data reference, Zhongtian News. News highlights: food poisoning incidents occurred at the well-known catering brands Kua Korean Cuisine and Xiang Spicy Weijiahu Spicy Hot Pot, and a total of 13 people and 9 people sought medical treatment. An inspection by the Health Bureau found that the conditions in the 2 stores were dirty and unclean, for which Wangpin Group issued 5 statements to apologize. The group has closed 2 stores on April 6 for comprehensive cleaning and disinfection, and required the building to clean the water tower. The group expresses its sincerest apologies for the incident. In response to the unstable water quality caused by the water outage, the group has taken measures to improve the environment and cooperated with the investigation by the government health unit. News headline: destined to make a fortune. The 3 zodiac signs have wealth stars shining and are very lucky today. Go buy lottery tickets. Release time, April 7, 2024. Data reference, Zhongtian News. News highlights: today, people born under the zodiac signs Aries, Gemini, and Libra are particularly suitable to buy lottery tickets because their financial fortune is particularly strong. Aries is full of energy and adventurous spirit, has particularly good financial luck, and has a high possibility of winning. Gemini is smart and witty, and has both positive and partial wealth today, and can make a lot of money by seizing business opportunities, while Libra has the character of elegance and fairness, and is good at career and the fortune is full of hope. Noble people will help, the fortune is prosperous, and there are opportunities to make money everywhere. Therefore, People with these 3 zodiac signs have a particularly high chance of winning lottery tickets today and are worth a try. News headline: more than 680 aftershocks. The epicenter of the earthquake is densely concentrated in 2 places. Amazing pictures are exposed. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Zhongtian News. News highlights: since the 7.2 magnitude earthquake on April 3, as of 7 a.m. today, April 7, a total of 682 major and minor earthquakes, including aftershocks, have occurred. Experts pointed out that the epicenters of these earthquakes are densely distributed along the Mailun Fault and the Suihua coast. Among them, there were 149 significant felt earthquakes and 533 small area earthquakes. According to statistics, the frequency and scale of aftershocks are decreasing day by day, but there is still a high risk, especially in the central and northern mountainous areas where the geological environment is fragile and sensitive. Affected by the cold front in the next 2 days, rainfall may occur in the mountainous areas, increasing the risk of disasters. Therefore, the public is urged to avoid activities such as mountain climbing, camping, and river tracing. News headline: you can build muscle strength while sitting. Standing for a long time? Zhang Kunjun teaches a trick to quickly eliminate tuna belly and strengthen abdominal muscles. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Health 2.0. News highlights: famous surgical Dr. Zhang Kunjun has designed a series of sitting muscle strength training for the elderly with limited mobility, emphasizing safety and effectiveness. First, cross your hands behind your head, then turn your body to one side, raise the leg on the corresponding side at the same time, touch your knee with your elbow, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, then switch to the other side and perform the same action to complete a set. It is recommended to perform 10 groups a day at the beginning and gradually increase to 30 or 40 groups to gradually increase the training intensity. This action can not only strengthen the trunk and core muscles, but also enhance the muscle strength of the lower limbs and shoulder mobility, which is of great benefit to the health of the elderly. News headline: don't look at the inconspicuousness of Gorgon. It strengthens the spleen, removes dampness, and has many anti-cancer effects. Traditional Chinese medicine recommends one soup to help relieve spring sleepiness and nourish the kidneys. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Health 2.0. News focus: Gorgon is a high-quality ingredient that is often used in soups, but is often not the protagonist of the soup. From the perspective of traditional Chinese medicine, Gorgon fruit is sweet in taste and neutral in nature. It belongs to the kidney and spleen meridians. It has the functions of strengthening the spleen and replenishing qi, stopping diarrhea, strengthening the kidney and astringing essence, removing dampness, stopping vaginal discharge, reducing excessive leukorrhea in women, and enhancing memory. However, patients with constipation and colds should not consume it. Gorgon fruit is divided into raw Gorgon fruit and cooked Gorgon fruit. The cooked Gorgon fruit has been refined and has better anti-diarrheal effect. The common Gorgon Shi Huaishan Koya seed decoction is a soup that strengthens the spleen and kidneys, and can improve physical fatigue caused by spring sleepiness. By combining it with yam and barley, the therapeutic effect can be enhanced. News headline: what are the benefits of flaxseed? It has good effects on lowering blood lipids, triglycerides, and blood pressure. 1. How to eat. Nutrients are easy to absorb. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Health 2.0. News focus: flaxseed is rich in nutrients such as omega-3, vitamin E and dietary fiber, which helps maintain cardiovascular, immune, and skin health. It can also lower blood pressure, prevent colorectal cancer, improve blood lipids and lower triglycerides. Weight. It is recommended to grind flaxseed into a powder and add it to drinks, salads, baked goods, soups or other dishes to add flavor. Moderate intake of omega-6 fatty acids is beneficial to cardiovascular health, but excessive intake may exacerbate anti-inflammatory responses. Overall, flaxseed has benefits for brain strengthening, improving memory, preventing constipation, antioxidant and delaying cell aging. News headline: will I still gain weight if I use the 168 fasting method? This daily bad habit may be to blame. Doctors will teach you how to quit successfully. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Health 2.0. News focus: in the process of pursuing a healthy body, many people may try various weight loss methods, such as the 168 fasting method, but often ignore the adjustment of daily eating habits. An Xinyu, an attending physician in the Department of Family Medicine, pointed out that giving up the habit of Chang Rai tail is the first step to lose weight. She emphasized that for food that cannot be eaten, it must be recognized that it is a sunk cost. Even if the food is eaten or left over, this part of the expenditure is not recoverable. In order to change this habit, it is recommended to chew slowly, put down the chopsticks, feel whether the body is full after a few minutes and pack or throw away the remaining food. In addition, Dr. Nzinyu also mentioned that carbohydrates are not the devil for weight loss and can be consumed in moderation, and taro is a high-quality starch that can replace white rice. By adjusting your eating habits, I believe you can achieve your weight loss goals more effectively and maintain a healthy body. News headline: recommended drinking coffee like this to lower blood fat and cholesterol. One kind of people, don't drink coffee on an empty stomach, it will make your blood sugar get out of control. Release time, April 6, 2024. Data reference, Health 2.0. News highlight: the effects of drinking coffee on blood sugar and blood lipids vary from person to person. Nutritionists point out that caffeine may cause acute blood sugar disorders, and it is not recommended for people with diabetes or abnormal blood sugar to drink coffee on an empty stomach. However, for healthy people, drinking coffee in moderation can lower blood lipids and keep blood sugar stable. Polyphenols such as chlorogenic acid in coffee are thought to lower blood lipids. It is recommended to consume solid protein before drinking coffee on an empty stomach to reduce the impact of caffeine on the body. Fasting refers to the absence of food in the stomach or the emptying of food, which is different from the definition of fasting before blood draw. News headline: if Big S and Wang Xiaofei don't do this in this life, they will be entangled again in the next life. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights: after actress Big S and Wang Xiaofei divorced, disputes continued, and their past life connections added to the complex entanglements in this life. According to the Tarot Master's analysis, Gu Junyi is the prince of Central Asia, and Wang Xiaofei is the son of the king. Both of them are attracted to Big S. S was born in the Tang dynasty, but was persecuted and forced to travel far away, where he met the maid Xiao S. During the trip, they met Mandy. Both Gu Junyi and Wang Xiaofei fell in love with Big S, but little S silently supported Gu Junyi, and Mandy showed her favor to Wang Xiaofei. In the end, Big S chose Gu Junyi, while Wang Xiaofei became ambitious due to a broken love. Aunt Zhonglan seeks the throne for Wang Xiaofei, and Big S is willing to marry Wang Xiaofei to save Gu Junyi. SS mother was Gu Junyi's important assistant, and the two finally succeeded in regaining the throne. The disputes in this life are also related to the causes and conditions in the past life. If you can let go of the resentment in the past life, you may be able to end the disputes in this life. News headline: number of missing persons in Hualien earthquake drops. 7 people have escaped safely, 13 people are currently missing, including 3 foreigners. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights: the Central Disaster Response Center announced that the number of people missing in the Hualien earthquake has dropped to 13, including 3 foreigners. It also confirmed that 4 people missing in Fengbin alpine mountaineering have escaped safely, and 2 others were mistakenly reported as being in the Merge Green Water Camp area, and 1 Indian national. A total of 634 people are currently trapped. Lin Yusheng, Minister of the Interior, said that the 33 kilometers of road that originally needed to be cleared has been shortened to 22 kilometers. It is expected to be cleared to the 170k to 172.3k section of Route 8 of Zhukodongta at 8 o'clock in the evening, and then continue to the direction of Tianxiang. It is expected that on April 6 you can rush to Tianxiang at 3 p.m. As for the airdrop of supplies, 2 airdrops have been carried out, and there are currently sufficient supplies at Zibao Elementary School. News headline: Mayday donates 5 million to aid reconstruction after the strong earthquake. Heartwarming encouragement: you will never be alone again with me by your side. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights: after the Hualien earthquake, all walks of life have invested in disaster relief operations, among which the concert group Mayday and its affiliated company Believe in Music also actively participated. Believe Music announced that it would cooperate with Mayday to donate $5 million to help build schools affected by the earthquake, and stated that it would continue to pay attention to subsequent rescue needs. Mayday expresses warm encouragement with the lyrics of its classic song Ending Loneliness, "Everything will be alright. Tomorrow will be fine. With my company, you will never be alone again." News headline: Giving disaster victims privacy, Taiwan shelter is a hot search topic in Japan. Tsuchi reveals the origin of research and development. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, Yiping News Network. News highlights: the Hualien earthquake has attracted international attention, especially a blue shelter tent that has attracted the attention of Japanese netizens. This design, called Fui Screen, was derived from the disaster relief experience of the Hualien earthquake in 2018, and aims to provide privacy space for the resettled victims. Tsuchi Foundation stated that they have set up such a partition in the shelter of the activity center. It is a closed, pull-out dark blue tent. The interior is divided into female sleeping areas and special care sleeping areas, and provides welfare facilities. Smart beds are provided for residents to rest. The original intention of this design is to improve the privacy protection of disaster victims during the resettlement process, so that they can survive the crisis more comfortably. News headline: Akira appears as a bodyguard. Reminiscing about the earthquake and Lin chilling at home, feeding their beloved son and taking the child's dining chair and running outside. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Yipping News Network. News highlight: Akira, a member of the Japanese idol group EXILE, as a national brother-in-law, donated 10 million yen, approximately NT $2.11 million, on behalf of LDH Japan Group to support the victims of the Hualien earthquake. He suddenly appeared today at the Taiwan meeting of the lead singer of the junior band Fantastics from EXILE tribe Buci Yagi. He revealed that he was feeding his son breakfast when the earthquake occurred. He was frightened and rushed out of the house with a child's dining chair. He described the situation at that time as terrible thrilling. Akira emphasized that it hopes everyone can have more knowledge about disaster prevention, and also expressed its concern and support for the people of Taiwan. This donation also reflects the deep relationship between LDH Group and Taiwan. Akira said that he will do his best to contribute to Taiwan and looks forward to bringing more positive energy to Taiwan through performing arts activities in the future. News headline: The 12 zodiac signs have the strongest fortune. Leo's career change is not a dream. Libra is appreciated by the boss. Taurus has a closer relationship. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Yipping News Network. News focus: This week's horoscope rankings of the 12 zodiac signs are as follows. Leo tops the list, showing practical actions to change jobs, and the future direction will be clearer. Libra follows closely behind, being recognized by the boss at work and being given more important tasks. Project: Taurus ranks third. In addition to self-education, the relationship with the lover will also be closer. Other zodiac signs have their own challenges and suggestions in terms of career, relationship, and health, and they need to pay attention to appropriate adjustments and handling. News headline: Bizarre. Chef Paulin's feces showed bunker acid. Doctor, it may be a rare symbiosis. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Yipping News Network. News highlights: Wang Bishan, Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Health and Welfare, announced the Bail and Tea House case yesterday. The substitute chef surnamed Hu was tested positive for bunkeric acid, but his blood and urine test results were negative, which made Dr. Zhang Guanyu feel unbelievable. Dr. Zhang said that it would be surprising if the chef's serum detects antibodies to the toxin, which may be a rare symbiont. Regarding the test results in this case, Dr. Zhang further explained that the incubation period of Bunkel's acidosis is short, and the chef may have the ability to overcome it, or it may be the influence of intestinal commensal flora. Netizens were also shocked by this, with some comparing it to a modern version of Typhoid Mary and feeling incredible about the development of the incident. News headline: There is a spotlight wherever you go. 4 constellations have unique temperament. TOP1 is as warm as the sun. Release time: April 5, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: Tarot card teacher Eiffel named 4 zodiac signs, which always become the focus of the crowd. The 4th place is Gemini, who attracts everyone with his excellent eloquence and witty humor. The 3rd place is Libra, with strong affinity and charming appearance, and can easily establish intimate connections. The 2nd place is Scorpio, which shows a confident and elegant temperament and attracts the attention of the surrounding people. The 1st place is Leo, who is full of energy, confidence, and generous. Like a dazzling ray of sunshine, it attracts everyone's attention and exudes a warm and comfortable atmosphere. News headline: Can't understand human language? 3 constellations always out of the ordinary. This person lives in his own world. Release time: April 5, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: Observing people's emotions is an important skill in the workplace or in love life. However, some people are often confused about the situation. According to the horoscope numerology column Good Luck, Aquarius often lives in their own world and focuses on things related to themselves, while Aries has a simple mind, doesn't like complicated situations, and often stays out of situations. The sign that is most often confused about the situation is Sagittarius. They are slow to react, not good at turning to think, easily confused and unable to understand the atmosphere of the situation. News headline: Preview of comeback. Wiki fan returns to the recording studio. Netizens don't appreciate it and are angry. Come on, Big Yay. Release time: April 5, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: FanWiki, Fan, has been controversial since her debut. Not only was it revealed that her academic qualifications from Harvard University were only continuing education college graduates, she also caused controversy for insulting the then president of the executive Yuan Zhencheng during the epidemic, causing fans to in just 2 days, more than 100,000 people unlike the group. Nearly 3 years later, she originally planned to come back and hold a concert in 2023, but her husband got caught up in the Me Too controversy, which resulted in the concert being boycotted and cancelled. Although she shared photos of her return to the recording studio, netizens still expressed their support for others, resulting in polarizing comments. News headline: Wang Lihum had an unexpected incident when he started singing. The mysterious woman rushed to the stage and hugged her with a bear for 7 seconds, shocking footage revealed. Release time: April 6, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: At Lihum Wang's concert yesterday, a female audience member suddenly rushed onto the stage and hugged him tightly for 7 seconds. Although he was frightened, he regained his composure and responded politely to the woman. Lihum Wang's agent said that he was focused on the performance at the time and was really frightened by the sudden appearance of a female audience member, but he soon discovered that it was an enthusiastic college student fan, so he responded politely. The company attaches great importance to the safety of every performance and hopes that the audience can cooperate to create a safe and harmonious performance environment. In future performances, they call on the audience to watch rationally, respect others, stay safe, enjoy music together, and create beautiful memories. News headline: Actor even fakes being sick. It hurts to get in and out of bed. I couldn't bear it for 2 days and ended up in the emergency room. Release time: April 6, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: Artist Shi Yunan was accidentally injured during the relocation of his dessert studio, causing severe pain all over his body. He finally went to the emergency room for a checkup even after taking a break. The doctor diagnosed it as a muscle strain, and Shi Yunan received treatment and prescribed medicine. He hopes to recover quickly so that he can continue his busy work. Fans expressed their concern and reminded him to put his health first and give him adequate rest and time to recover. News headline: Local drama actress surprised in car accident. The whole clavicle was broken and he was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: Local drama actress Li Yura, now known as Chen Manfei, suffered a stroke a few months ago and had surgery to save her life. However, unfortunately, she was recently involved in a car accident and her collarbone was completely broken. She was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. Li Yura has always been in poor health, suffering from as many as 10 miscarriages. She was hospitalized in critical condition due to a burst intestine 2 years ago, and suffered a stroke last year. The car accident caused a broken clavicle, which required surgery to install bone nails. The doctor warned that there could be serious sequelae if not treated aggressively, so she immediately underwent surgery. News headline: Wu Qilong's shocking rumor of divorce. Lu Shishi's property division revealed insider information about actress Song Cao. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: Actors Wu Qilong and Lu Shishi have been married for 8 years. News of divorce suddenly spread, and there were even rumors that they had divided their property. Actress Li Haikan, a good friend in the entertainment industry, revealed the inside story and said it was probably a misunderstanding. She only last met Wu Qilong in November last year, when he was a guest at Zhang Yuheng's concert. Li Haikan expressed surprise at the news of Wu Qilong's marriage change and thought it might be a misunderstanding. News headline: Korean drama The Professional Dad passed away suddenly. Suffering from cancer for the 4th time and struggling to support his illness, he lived to be 70 years old. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: Senior Korean actor Song Min-hyung unfortunately passed away after his 70th birthday. He was the famous 10,000 Years father in Korean dramas and appeared in many well-known works, such as The Impolite Young Lady and Sky Castle Wait. He once lost his life to gallbladder cancer after surgery. Song Min-hyung's acting career spans half a century and is famous for his superb acting skills and image that is loved by the audience. His death deeply saddened the entertainment industry and movie fans, especially actor Kim Hyun-suk, who had collaborated with him, and expressed her gratitude and condolences to him through social platforms. News headline: To attract India and fight against China, this Japanese businessman made harsh remarks. Release time: April 5, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: Japanese air conditioning giant Daikin Industries has faced pressure from Chinese competitors in the global market in recent years, especially lagging behind in sales volume. In response to market challenges, Daikin has actively expanded the Indian market and plans to build India into the largest export manufacturing center to cope with the low-price market-grabbing strategies of Chinese competitors. Daikin has launched low-priced inverter air conditioners in India in recent years in an attempt to narrow the price gap with Chinese competitors and accelerate the popularity and development of the Indian market. In addition, Daikin has also set up a research and development base in India to create air conditioning products specially designed for the African market, and plans to export products made in India to 100 markets around the world. News headline: the return of the first batch of M1A2T combat vehicles to Taiwan has been postponed to the fourth quarter. The military calmly reports that it was invited by the U.S. military to participate in joint exercises. Release time, April 5, 2024. Information reference, Free Electronic News. News highlights, my country purchased 108 M1A2T combat vehicles from the United States. The first batch of 38 vehicles was originally scheduled to arrive in Taiwan in the middle of this year, but delivery may be postponed to the fourth quarter due to invitations to participate in joint training exercises with the U.S. military. At present, about 30 vehicles have left the factory, but 18 vehicles must be taken out to participate in the exercise, resulting in an adjustment in the delivery schedule. The military said it would not comment on foreign military exchanges, but emphasized that the delivery of M1A2T tanks was on track. The tank procurement case has a number of supporting measures, including the cooperative production of tank shells, which may be produced in Taiwan, and strengthened ammunition inventory supply. News headline, Xindian beer warehouse burned into flames. Release time, April 5, 2024. Information reference, Free Electronic News. News highlights, a fire alarm was reported in Xindian, New Taipei City. At about 7 o'clock tonight, flames broke out on the second floor of a 3-story single-family building on Shazi Road and burned completely. Firefighters were informed and rushed to put out the fire. Fortunately, all 4 people in the building escaped immediately. No one was injured or killed. It is reported that the building is a wine merchant company, and the second and third floors are warehouses for storing beer. The burning area is 200 square meters. After the fire was controlled, there was no risk of spreading. News headline, cutting off diplomatic relations with Taiwan will lead to nothing. China didn't buy any of them, Hongguo's Q1 white shrimp exports dropped by 25%. Release time, April 6, 2024. Information reference, Free Electronic News. News highlights, in the first quarter of 2024, Hong Kong's white shrimp exports plummeted by 25%. The main reason is that the free trade agreement between China and Honduras has not yet been reached, and China's price is lower than Taiwan. Mexico's shrimp ban also exacerbated the recession, causing exports to Mexico to fall by 35.86%. After the FTA relationship between Taiwan and Taiwan was terminated, Hongguo's white shrimp exports to Taiwan were affected, with the quantity declining by 29.6%. China asked Hongguo to grant the same tariff preferences. The Hongguo government responded by pointing out that the competition conditions between the two sides were different and that goods needed to be analyzed item by item. News headline, the owner of the ship that crashed into the Baltimore Bridge is actually a major shareholder of 2 Chinese shipyards. Release time, April 6, 2024. Information reference, Free Electronic News. News highlights, the K Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland, USA collapsed after the freighter Daily hit it, which may result in a compensation amount of up to $4 billion, the highest in the history of shipping insurance. It was unexpectedly revealed that the owner of the freighter was one of the major shareholders of 2 Chinese shipyards and was controlled by Japanese entrepreneur Yoshimasa Abe. This is unusual for China's shipbuilding industry, as foreign investment in Chinese shipyards is extremely small. Abe owns Grace Ocean Private, a Singaporean company that owns multiple ships, and is a major shareholder in 2 Chinese shipyards. The New York Times was unable to obtain comment from Abe. News headline, Czech media, Xiao Maiken's visit to Europe is suspected of being tracked by Chinese officials, and the Prague authorities will take action. Release time, April 6, 2024. Information reference, Free Electronic News. News highlights, Taiwan Vice President-elect Xiao Maiken was suspected of being followed by military officials from the Chinese embassy during her visit to Europe, which attracted the attention of the Czech police. The Czech Ministry of Foreign Affairs has contacted the Chinese embassy and is considering classifying the officials involved as persona non grata. During her visit, Xiao Maiken met with politicians from the Czech Republic, Poland, Lithuania, and other countries, emphasizing friendly relations with European countries. News headline, Meng Zhengru was burned by Huang Zijiao's extramarital case. Wu Danru, modern law should not sin the wife. Release time, April 6, 2024. Information reference, Free Electronic News. News highlights, Huang Zijiao was revealed to be a senior member of the Candid Photography Forum, triggering heated discussions. Meng Zhengru issued a post apologizing for her husband's purchase of indecent films from minors, which aroused public reaction. Writer Wu Danru expressed her personal opinion, believing that the wife should not be blamed for the husband's guilt, and called for rational handling of the problem. Regarding the comments from netizens caused by Meng Zhengru's cancellation of the event, Wu Danru believed that everyone's choices have their own reasons, and no one has the right to intervene under the law, and called for calm and rational handling of the problem. News headline, no longer let cheap Chinese products swallow up global counterattack. China Shock 2.0. Release time, April 7, 2024. Information reference, Free Electronic News. News highlights. The Wall Street Journal reported that the United States and Europe have threatened to raise trade barriers against China's electric vehicles and renewable energy products, triggering countermeasures from emerging economies such as Brazil, India, Mexico, and Indonesia, who are worried about dumping of low-priced Chinese goods. U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen raised concerns about China's overcapacity problem on the 6th, warning that focusing only on supply without considering demand will have a global impact. Countries around the world have begun to take action to protect manufacturing industries, such as India launching an anti-dumping investigation on bolts. Chile is facing factory closures because it cannot compete with China's low-priced steel products. Governments of various countries have increased their import measures against China, including anti-dumping investigations. These measures affected the global trade situation and showed that the shock in China was intensifying. News headline: Thick smoke rising into the sky. Fire breaks out at Nanya Plastics Lingkao factory. New Taipei and Dawin District 6 beware of air pollution. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: A fire broke out at the Nanya Plastics factory in Taishan District, New Taipei City this morning. The fire department mobilized hundreds of firefighters and volunteers to rescue the factory. Due to the large amount of chemical raw materials in the factory, thick smoke continues to emit, affecting the air quality. The New Taipei City government issued an air pollution warning for 6 districts, calling on the public to close windows and wear masks. The initial estimate of the fire area is about 3,000 square meters, and the cause of the fire is yet to be investigated. New Taipei City Mayor Hou Yuyi came to the scene to express concern about the fire, hoping to control the fire as soon as possible to avoid further affecting the air quality. News headline: No more cooperation with Huang Zijiao. Ministry of Health and Welfare: Zero tolerance for sexual exploitation of children. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: Free Electronic News. News highlights: The Ministry of Health and Welfare expressed zero tolerance for Huang Zijiao's possession of indecent videos of minors and emphasized that it will never cooperate with anyone involved in the sexual exploitation of children. Li Lifen, Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Health and Welfare, announced that she will not have any cooperation plans with Huang Zijiao now or in the future, and the films she has collaborated with in the past will also be completely removed from the shelves. In addition, Zhang Ziyuan, Director of the Protection Department of the Ministry of Health and Welfare, said that if any future cooperation partners are in similar situations, they will also be included in the list of no longer cooperating, reiterating their stance on the sexual exploitation of children. News headline: The Meishan Fault in Chi has a century-old cycle that could lead to strong earthquakes. Meteorological Administration: Strengthen monitoring and pay attention to energy accumulation. Release time: April 5, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: After the Hualien earthquake, aftershocks continued to occur in many places in Taiwan, arousing public concern. Wu Jianfu, Director of the Earthquake Forecasting and Forecasting Center of the Central Meteorological Administration, pointed out that earthquakes have been frequent recently, especially in the Chi area, which has drawn attention to the Meishan Fault. The Meteorological Administration has stepped up monitoring of this fault, as there has not been a major earthquake since 1906, and energy may accumulate, requiring attention. Seismic activity predicts that earthquakes of magnitude 5 to May 6 still occur in the future. People should be prepared for earthquakes and pay attention to fixing heavy objects to ensure their own safety. News headline: Yahoo! Japan's Taiwan disaster relief page has raised 95 million yen. Japanese netizens: It's time to repay kindness. Release time: April 5, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: After the 7.2 magnitude earthquake occurred in Taiwan, all walks of life in Japan paid attention and showed their support and help to Taiwan. Japan's Yahoo website has opened a Taiwan Earthquake Emergency Support fundraising page. As of 2:20 p.m. today, more than 94.99 million yen, approximately $20 million, has been raised. The Japanese government also expressed its willingness to provide support. Ex-Japan Captain Yashiki donated 10 million yen to the Taiwan Red Cross, and the Japanese Yomiuri Giants announced a donation of 10 million yen and held a charity sale. These actions demonstrate the spirit of friendship and mutual assistance between the two countries. News headline: Japanese Prime Minister Kishida visits the United States next week and will give speeches at Biden and the U.S. Congress. Release time: April 5, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is about to visit the United States, during which he will hold talks with President Biden and deliver a speech to the U.S. Congress, emphasizing U.S.-Japan cooperation in maintaining international order. The two sides will discuss strategic cooperation, including reorganizing the U.S. military headquarters in Japan and strengthening military exercises. At the same time, Japan will also work closely with South Korea to jointly respond to security threats in the Indo-Pacific region, including North Korea's cyber attacks and missile provocations. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Thomas Greenfield will also visit Japan and South Korea later to strengthen pressure and supervision on North Korea. This visit demonstrates the willingness of the United States, Japan, and South Korea to cooperate in addressing regional security challenges. News headline: 18 buildings in Taiwan were listed on the red list after the 7.2 strong earthquake, including 17 buildings in Hualien. Release time: April 5, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: a 7.2 magnitude earthquake occurred in Taiwan on the 3rd, causing many buildings to topple and collapse. The Land Management Bureau stated that it has confirmed 18 red orders and 34 yellow orders, and is continuing to investigate. More than 339 professional technicians have been involved in disaster investigation, and 430 buildings in various places have received requests for disaster investigation. The public should check whether the structure of the house is damaged and seek professional inspection if there are cracks or exposed steel bars. The Department of Land and Resources reminds people to avoid entering closed roads and collapsed areas, and to walk with caution near sloping buildings. If the public needs seismic reinforcement subsidies, they can consult the project office. News headline: Daejeonmazu's 9-day and 8-night route revealed. One artifact check: where does Luan Jiago strategy mastered in one go. Release time: April 6, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: the annual Mazu circumambulation activity held by Zhenlan Temple in Daejia, Taiwan, started on time at 11 p.m. on the 5th, starting a 9-day and 8-night trip. This year, Zhenlan Palace Chairman Yan Qingbiao and Legislative Yuan Han Kuyu supported the sedan chair. The number of believers increased significantly, and some people lamented that they were squeezed out of breath. The detour route covers 4 counties and cities including Taichung, Zhonghua, Yunlin, and Qi, and will return to Luang Daejia Zhenlan Temple on the 14th. People can use the Mazu chasing artifact to quickly find out the location of Mazu's sedan chair. News headline: the original Superman comic sold 200 million yuan per copy, ranked first in history. The original selling price was exposed in 1938. Release time: April 6, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: the American comic hero Superman first appeared in the comic collection Action Comics No. 1 in June 1938. The book was sold at Heritage Auction, a Texas auction house, for an astonishing $6 million, approximately NT $190 million. Set a record for the most expensive comic book in history. This comic has extraordinary commemorative value because it first presented the most famous superhero Superman. Only about 100 copies exist, and it is regarded as one of the rarest and most influential comics. The story of Superman describes the origins of an alien orphan who is sent to Earth to become a superhero. The astonishing prices for Superman comics reflect the influence and value of superhero culture today. News headline: IU's concert ended. Traditional Chinese words condolences to the victims of Hualien appeared on the screen. Pinky tears: I never love the wrong person. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: South Korean actress IU held a tour concert at the Taipei Arena. She spoke to fans in Chinese for the first time to express her love for Taiwan. Although the Hualien earthquake was not directly mentioned, after the concert, the stage screen suddenly displayed condolences in Chinese, English and Korean, expressing deep condolences to the victims of the earthquake. Fans were deeply moved and praised IU's warmth and care. It means I never fall in love with the wrong person. News headline: Is Taiwan an earthquake island? There are 26,000 earthquakes per year. 3,200 people died in this earthquake 89 years ago. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: Taiwan is known as the Earthquake Island, with an average of more than 26,000 earthquakes occurring every year. Limited by technology in the early days, earthquake records mainly relied on written descriptions. It was not until the Japanese occupation that seismographs began to be used for scientific observations. There have been many serious earthquakes in Taiwan's history, such as the 1935 Hsinchu Taichung earthquake that killed more than 3,200 people, and the 1999 921 earthquake that killed more than 2,000 people, which attracted the government's attention to disaster prevention awareness. Although earthquake prediction is still difficult, soil and water conservation, earthquake proofing of buildings, and disaster prevention measures are crucial. News headline: 28 Green MPs each donated RMB 2,000 for disaster relief were criticized as outrageous. Xi Jinping supports, trash politicians morally kidnapped. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: FTV News. News highlights: after the Hualien earthquake, 28 Democratic Progressive Party New Taipei city councilors donated 2,000 yuan each, totaling 56,000 yuan, which triggered criticism from the outside that the amount was insignificant. Wang Ruyi, director of the Office of People's Party legislator Zhang Kekai, issued a criticism, pointing out that other politicians' donations were much higher than this, causing controversy. Shi Shuhua refuted Wang's remarks, believing that the donation itself was a good intention and should not be compared, and accused Wang of engaging in moral kidnapping. This move aroused heated discussions among netizens, with debates over the donation amount and criticism. News headline: People on the other side of the Taiwan Strait still remember eating tofu after the earthquake in Taiwan? Geng Shuang thanks the international community for Taiwan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs denounces the shameless act. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: The Hualien earthquake has attracted international attention. Leaders and dignitaries from more than 48 countries have expressed condolences and willingness to provide assistance to Taiwan for the disaster. However, when Geng Shuang, Deputy Permanent Representative of the Chinese Mission to the United Nations, spoke at the United Nations Security Council, he mentioned the Taiwan earthquake when talking about children and armed conflict, triggering severe condemnation from the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs pointed out that China's use of the Taiwan earthquake to conduct cognitive warfare internationally is shameless and highlights its political calculation and authoritarian nature against Taiwan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs reiterated that Taiwan is a sovereign and independent country that should be represented by a democratically elected government, and emphasized that Taiwan has never been ruled by China and is not part of China. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressed its gratitude to the international community for its concern over the earthquake disaster in Taiwan and emphasized the importance of international assistance to Taiwan. News headline: TV and screen were broken due to strong earthquake and had to buy new ones. Sales surged 3 times. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: The Hualien 7.2 earthquake caused damage to many televisions and computer screens at home, and people replaced them one after another, causing the sales of TV screens to increase 2 to 3 times. People have also begun to purchase earthquake-resistant products such as wall mounts and fixed racks to prevent another tragedy from happening in the future. Taipower recommends that home appliances be thoroughly inspected after a disaster, paying special attention to whether plugs and wires are damaged, and promptly handle loose plugs, broken wires, etc. to ensure safety. News headline: This oral bacteria is super poisonous. Mouthwash worsens the harm, doctors reveal one trick to remove it correctly. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: Medical research indicates that Fusobacterium nucleatum in the mouth may cause various cancers and dementia because it paralyzes immune cells and prevents them from clearing cancer cells. However, using antiseptic mouthwash will destroy the balance of oral flora and increase the harm of this bacteria. Brushing the tongue coating will make the tongue more likely to breed bacteria. Dr. Zheng Jinyuan recommends using gauze dipped in oil to clean the tongue coating. This can keep the mouth fresh and reduce the number of Fusobacterium nucleatum. News headline: The front is coming on the 6th. It turns rainy all over Taiwan. It rained all the way until the construction started, but it became sunny from now on. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: Forecaster Zhang Chengchuan of the Central Meteorological Administration of the Ministry of Transportation pointed out that tomorrow the front will approach, and there will be brief showers in the northern and eastern half, and there will also be sporadic rainfall in other areas. The temperature will be about 26 to 29 degrees in northern Taiwan and 30 to 34 degrees in central and southern Taiwan. There will still be local showers from the 7th to the 8th, with relatively average rainfall, and the frequency of rainfall will increase in the next 3 days. On the 9th, the front passed, the northeast monsoon strengthened, the rain slowed down, and the temperature became slightly cooler, with the low temperature in the north about 20 degrees below. After the 10th, the rain intensity decreased and turned into a weather pattern with rain on the windward side. News headline: Lost 30 kilograms of weight. The male singer had an accident and his vision went black. Health warning. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: Singer Chu Jun was widely praised for his debut album Love Singer, but he was attacked by critics for his appearance and singing skills. At a height of 160 centimeters, he once gained weight to 90 kilograms. During the process of losing weight, he tried extreme methods that caused physical problems, such as hair loss and fainting, which made him realize the importance of health. Although he has gained 8 kilograms, he still hopes to lose another 10 kilograms and consider becoming a fitness instructor. In the face of challenges, Chu Jun showed high EQ and perseverance. News headline: Turkish search and rescue team arrives in Taiwan. Bring a lot of equipment and catch the train to Hualien for disaster relief. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: the Turkish search and rescue team arrived at Dalwin Airport this evening and prepared to go to Hualien to launch a rescue operation. Armed with a large amount of equipment, they planned to launch the rescue after dawn tomorrow, but expressed a desire to begin the mission immediately tonight. Turkish search and rescue personnel carry drones and other equipment and will cooperate with Taiwan's search and rescue team in conducting search operations. The Taiwan government expressed its gratitude for their arrival and looked forward to the two sides working together to study the operation mode of drone search in mountainous areas to improve rescue efficiency. This cooperation not only brings closer the friendship of humanitarian assistance cooperation between the two countries, but is also expected to achieve breakthroughs in future rescue work. News headline: Huang Zijiao was bombarded for holding an indecent film. Wu Zongxian couldn't bear to take action, let Meng Zhengru and his daughter go. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: regarding the Huang Zijiao incident, Wu Zongxian said, "Let the poor wife and daughter go," and hinted that legal proceedings will be carried out. He emphasized that he has always been a good person, kept his original intention unchanged, and would not let everyone down. Regarding Zhang Xiaoyan's attitude, Wu Zongxian remained silent for the time being. The whole incident aroused polarizing comments from society, and Wu Zongxian showed his views and attitudes through this response. News headline: Father holds an oxygen tank and carries a 5-year-old girl with a rare disease wearing a respirator while waiting for Mizu. The sedan driver supports Gaoluan and gets under the sedan. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlights: on the first day of the Daejiama border crossing, a 5-year-old girl entered Zhonghua with a congenital disease and was wearing a respirator. The father and his daughter are waiting for Mizu's sedan chair, hoping that the girl can crawl under the sedan chair to pray for blessings and safety. The girl waited calmly, which made others feel sad. Mizu compassionately allowed the girl to get under the sedan chair, and the sedan chair team tried their best to support the sedan chair. The girl followed her father obediently and waited, and finally succeeded in getting under the sedan chair to pray for the girl to recover. News headline: the 28-year-old woman loves to clean the refrigerator is in trouble. Medical examination size: there are 4 symptoms of mid-stage gastric cancer, so be careful. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Sanli News Network. News highlight: a 28-year-old woman sought medical treatment for stomach pain, bloating, and even vomiting blood. The examination revealed that she had mid-stage gastric cancer. After the doctor learned about it, he learned that the woman had been eating leftovers from the refrigerator for a long time, and even ate expired food. In order to save money, she became the culprit of the disease. Doctors warn that food in the refrigerator may breed harmful microorganisms, and long-term consumption increases the risk of gastric cancer. If you have abnormal symptoms such as stomach pain, bloating, and vomiting blood, you should seek medical examination as soon as possible. News headline: Masters and PhDs running around the streets. Li Yuanzhe, it's not my fault. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: former Dean Li Yuanzhe clarified his responsibility for education reform in a new book, emphasizing that he advocated starting English education in primary schools, but was not the culprit that caused masters and PhDs to run all over the streets. He pointed out that after the change of political parties, some people used education reform to attack him, leading to educational chaos. From 1994 to 1996, he participated in the Education Reform Committee and submitted 4 consultation reports. He did not advocate the abolition of higher vocational education, but only emphasized that high school education should be separated from the technical vocational system. Regarding the controversy, Li Yuanzhe called for understanding of the original intention of the educational reform and to clarify the misunderstandings about it by the outside world. News headline: Kaohsiung counterfeit SGS, more than 45 tons of dried vegetables from mainland China may be eaten up. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: a woman surnamed Huang in Kaohsiung was charged after allegedly using fake SGS inspection certification marks on uninspected dried vegetables imported from mainland China and selling them to Uni-President Enterprises. She instructed her employees to modify import declarations to make them appear to be in compliance, so Uni-President purchased non-compliant products. After the police searched, they found that Huang was involved in forging inspection certificates many times, and the dried vegetables she sold may have entered the market. Ms. Wang's income from the case exceeded 6.26 million yuan and she was charged with the crime of altering official documents. News headline: Is your home still safe after an earthquake? Self-inspection: 3 key points and 4 types to identify potential risks. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: after the 7.2 strong earthquake in Hualien, 181 buildings requested inspection, including 9 red buildings and 8 yellow buildings. The new Taipei Engineering Bureau provides 3 key inspection directions. 1. Whether the appearance is tilted or subsided. 2. Whether there are cracks or exposed steel bars on beams, columns, and walls. 3. Check whether the exterior wall decorations are falling or deformed. Pay special attention to easily affected structures such as high-rise buildings, arcade columns, and corner joints, and call for timely repairs if problems such as cracks or exposed steel bars are found. News headline: deleting all the dialogue is useless. Line's hidden function: one click to catch someone stealing food was revealed by a group of female fans. It's the ultimate monkey catching tool. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlight: when a female netizen checked her boyfriend's Line chat history, she accidentally discovered that he had sent couple photos to her female colleagues, and she broke up with her angrily. Although the boyfriend explained that it was just a friendly interaction, the original post still insisted on breaking up. Other netizens also shared similar experiences, confirming that this method can reveal cheating. This function is highly praised and regarded as a monkey-catching artifact to confirm the loyalty of the other party. News headline: She has experienced frequent earthquakes recently. The Meteorological Administration issued a warning on the Maishan Fault. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: after the 7.2 strong earthquake in Hualien, a 4.8 earthquake occurred in Chi, triggering concerns that the Maishan Fault cycle is coming. The Central Meteorological Administration warned that there have been frequent earthquakes in Chi recently and that monitoring of the Maishan Fault should be stepped up. Seismological experts point out that trench-type earthquakes and the Maishan Fault are the main causes of activity in Taiwan. Once a major earthquake occurs, the consequences will be serious. Aftershocks continue, but their magnitude has stabilized. The Meteorological Administration reminds that the frequent earthquakes in Taiwan do not mean that there will be no other earthquakes in the short term. However, trench-type earthquake precursors show coastal subsidence, increasing the possibility of trench-type earthquakes. News headline: What does an earthquake feel like in Taipei 101? Former employee on the 89th floor reveals disaster movie scene, determined to resign. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: the Hualien 7.2 earthquake triggered panic across Taiwan. Some netizens were curious about the impact of the earthquake on Taipei 101. A former 101 employee revealed that the earthquake seen 7 or 8 years ago, where the windows vibrated and made a terrible sound, and the observation deck turned into a panic scene, led him to decide to leave. Other netizens described how they felt during the earthquake. Aftershocks were obvious on high floors and made people dizzy. Professionals pointed out that the 101 uses a damping ball shock absorption system. Although there will be shaking, the degree is not significant. Taipei 101's earthquake-proof design includes 8 giant pillars and dampers, allowing it to remain relatively stable during earthquakes. News headline: Even the angel mother-in-law is going crazy. The daughter-in-law who was sweeping the grave said, "I don't worship other people's ancestors." The next second she asked a question, and the whole audience was furious. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: a young mother-in-law encountered a conflict between her mother-in-law and her daughter-in-law during the tomb sweeping day. She was originally grateful, but unexpectedly her daughter-in-law refused to pay homage to her husband's ancestors during the grave sweeping, and even made hurtful remarks, causing dissatisfaction among relatives. The mother-in-law felt hurt and decided not to have anything to do with her daughter-in-law, nor to let her return to her hometown. Netizens expressed confusion and criticism about the daughter-in-law's behavior, thinking that her words and deeds were inappropriate. News headline: He shouted spring is coming for those without housing. Will housing prices collapse after the 403 earthquake? A group of people woke up, the beginning of the fundamental explosion. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: a netizen curiously asked whether housing prices would fall after the Hualien earthquake, sparking discussion. However, many netizens believe that housing prices will not fall because post-disaster reconstruction and the imbalance between supply and demand will drive up housing prices, especially the sluggish old housing market, which will cause the prices of second-hand houses and new houses to continue to rise. Some people even pointed out that the demand for earthquake-resistant and earthquake-resistant houses may become stronger, indicating that the housing market is expected to rise. News headline: Catering industry earns 49,000 but can't find new people. The reason is exposed. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: Taiwan's catering industry has faced a severe labor shortage problem in recent years. In particular, time-honored stores have announced closures or transformation due to lack of staff. A small boss offered a total of 49K in salary plus bonuses, but still had difficulty recruiting employees, sparking discussion. Office workers pointed out that the main reason is that the basic salary is too low. They believe that there are too many bosses and everyone is cautious about submitting resumes. After listening to the suggestions, Zhong Yuanpo adjusted the salary to a base salary of NT $33,000 plus an attendance bonus of NT $1,500 to increase the attractiveness. In addition, Zhonghua's famous century-old snack cat and mouse noodles has also been suspended for internal use due to lack of work, and is now available as frozen takeout. News headline: Residential inflation will soar due to 3 major shocks, and renters may become the hardest hit households with feeling poor. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: factors such as the central bank's interest rate hikes, electricity price increases, and the Hualien earthquake will further push up inflation. In particular, the residential inflation rate is expected to rise, affecting rents, residential maintenance fees, electricity bills, etc. The rent-related inflation rate is the highest in the past 30 years and continues to rise, and is expected to continue. Experts point out that the increase in necessary expenditures will compress other consumption, which will not only increase the burden on households, but also manufacturers will face greater pressure, which may lead to layoffs and the withdrawal of companies. Subsequent risks cannot be ignored. News headline: He complained that sweeping graves during Qingming festival was just to please the elders. Depiao.com recognizes, times have changed. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: with the Qingming festival holiday approaching, grave sweeping has become a traditional custom for many people, but some people do not believe in ghosts and gods and think these rituals are unnecessary. One netizen said that he only participated in grave sweeping activities to please his elders, and said that he might not do so again in the future. It triggered discussions among many netizens. Some people said they respect the wishes of their elders, but they do not believe in it and will not ask future generations to visit their graves. Others said they will maintain this tradition because they respect the wishes of their parents. Different people have different views on the custom of sweeping graves, but it is important to respect each other's beliefs and values. News headline: Everyone once had one. Why did Superdry, a trend indicator, fall from the altar? Villagers lamented, it was ruined by 2 groups. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: Taiwanese trendy brand Superdry was once very popular, but now it has faded out of the public eye. Netizens discussed the reasons for this decline, pointing to factors such as thick design, lack of changes, and low CP value. Some people think it has been replaced by other brands such as North Face, while others blame piracy and 8+9 and other factors. Superdry once withdrew from the Taiwan market, but returned in 2021 with Superdry Adventure Soul and reduced the price by 40%. News headline: Will you get used to it after a while? A variety of Japanese food that is shocking at first but makes people unconsciously addictive. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Yahoo News. News highlights: Live Japan exclusively interviewed foreigners who have lived in Japan for more than 2 years. Their favorite Japanese food includes sushi, raw eggs, assorted yaki, oden, fried food, tsukimen, etc. Some foods have been adapted outside of Japan, like sashimi for sushi, allowing foreigners to truly experience it for the first time. In addition, some foreigners ate food in Japan that they didn't like before, such as natto, and some started to like it. Japanese noodles are also popular among foreigners, especially ramen, udon, etc. This exclusive interview shows that the rich variety of Japanese food has attracted the love and amazement of many foreigners. News headline: Symptoms are too similar to colds. This cancer is a silent killer. Seek medical attention immediately if you experience 6 symptoms. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: Lymphoma is known as the silent killer because its initial symptoms are not obvious. However, discussions among netizens show that swollen lymph nodes is one of the most concerning symptoms, and lumps often form in the neck, armpits, and groin. In addition, fever and feeling tired are common symptoms similar to those of a cold. Sudden weight loss is also a focus of discussion, reminding people to pay attention to physical abnormalities. Even if the symptoms are not obvious, regular physical examination and careful observation can still detect and treat it early. News headline: Study warns new cases of prostate cancer may double in 20 years. Experts: 2 things to note. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: According to Agence France Presse, a report published in the medical journal The Lancet points out that as the populations of poor countries age, new cases of prostate cancer worldwide may more than double within 20 years, from 2020 to 2020. The number of cases increased from 1.4 million to 2.9 million in 2040. Prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers in men and mostly occurs in men over the age of 50. Researchers emphasize that this is related to changes in the age structure of the global population and is difficult to control through public health policies and lifestyle changes. They called on developing countries to step up early screening because the disease is often detected at a late stage, hampering treatment effectiveness. News headline: How often should you wash your hair to make it clean? Foreign research: washing X times a week is best for your hair. Do 3 things to keep your scalp healthy. Release time: April 3, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: According to medical research, the Skin Appendage Disorders report points out that frequent hair washing is closely related to scalp health. People who wash their hair moderately, 5 to 6 times a week, have better hair quality and less scalp damage. Washing your hair too little, once a week or less, may cause dirt to accumulate on your scalp, causing problems, while washing your hair too much, more than 7 times a week, may lead to dryness and inflammation of the scalp. It is recommended to wash your hair regularly, use shampoo to remove dirt, and choose appropriate care products according to your individual scalp type. Common scalp types include normal, dry, oily, combination and sensitive, and require different care styles. If you are concerned about your scalp, it is recommended to seek advice from a dermatologist. News headline: Getting married? Caught on beach vacation, rumor has it that Taylor Swift has agreed to her boyfriend's proposal. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: The relationship between music superstar Taylor Swift and American football star Travis Kelce was recently exposed. The two took an intimate photo while vacationing in the Bahamas, attracting attention from the outside world. The magazine In Touch reported that the two have reached a consensus and are willing to get married. Travis also expressed that Taylor Swift is the person he wants to spend his life with, and said that he will not force her to choose between career and relationship. Taylor's past relationships often ended because of her career, but Travis' tolerance may be the key to marriage. Although the two have full schedules this year and there is little chance of a wedding, the family is looking forward to witnessing their union next year. News headline: Hualien was hit by a strong earthquake and 677 earthquakes occurred. Fans pointed out that the aftershocks were concentrated here densely. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: At 7:58 a.m. on April 3, a strong earthquake with a magnitude of 7.2 occurred in Taiwan, triggering a series of aftershocks. According to statistics from the Central Meteorological Administration, as of 6 a.m. today, there have been a total of 677 earthquakes, mainly concentrated in the north of the main shock, especially the Mailun Fault and the Suhua Coast area. Although the frequency and size of aftershocks are gradually decreasing, it is still necessary to remain vigilant, especially in the mountainous areas of central and northern China, which are geologically fragile and susceptible to rainfall due to frontal influences, increasing the risk of disasters. It is recommended to avoid outdoor activities such as mountain climbing, camping, and river tracing to ensure personal safety. News headline: Prevent thunderstorms during the closing holidays. Wudurong, it will rain continuously for 3 days from now on, and the front will only move away on Wednesday. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: Today, Taiwan is affected by a front, and there is the possibility of occasional localized short-lived rains in various places. Especially from today to Tuesday, the rainfall will be heavy and unstable, and there will be small-scale thunderstorms in some parts of the central and northern parts. In terms of temperature, the temperature is about 19 to 28 degrees in the north, 21 to 33 degrees in the center, 22 to 36 degrees in the south, and 20 to 32 degrees in the east. The front will move away on Wednesday, the weather will get better, and the temperature will rise. From Thursday to Saturday, the weather will be sunny and cloudy everywhere, and the temperature will be as warm as summer. News headline: Hualien 7.2 strong earthquake, the world praises Taiwan is so strong. Experts reveal the key: gain through lessons of blood and tears. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: United News Network. News highlights: The Hualien earthquake attracted global media attention. Comments from European and American countries on Taiwan mostly praised its strong construction and high disaster relief efficiency, which shows that Taiwan's international image has improved. Netizens lamented that Taiwan seems to have become an advanced country in East Asia in the eyes of Europe and the United States, triggering heated discussions. Most netizens also affirmed the calmness and resilience of Taiwanese people, pointing out that the lessons learned from the 921 earthquake prompted Taiwan to improve building regulations and disaster response training, which became a key reason for the reduction in disasters. News headline: After the strong earthquake, Li Sichuan couldn't bear it anymore and revealed 8 arrows were updated in Beijing City. It depends on the cooperation of citizens. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: The Hualien earthquake caused tremors across Taiwan. Taipei City Deputy Mayor Li Sichuan said on Facebook that disasters often strike when people forget, emphasizing that residential safety is more important than residential justice. He mentioned that Taipei City's urban renewal plan has shot 8 arrows, including lowering the threshold for public offices and relaxing private regulations, but whether it will succeed still requires the cooperation of citizens. He called on everyone to take precautions against disasters at all times and stay vigilant. News headline: If a strong 7.3 earthquake hits Taipei, 35,000 houses may be destroyed. Li Hongyuan, we should consider moving the capital. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: A 7.2 earthquake occurred off the coast of Hualien, causing strong earthquakes across Taiwan. Taipei City also experienced a magnitude 5 earthquake. Former Interior Minister Li Hongyuan warned that if a 7.3 earthquake occurs, 35,000 houses may collapse, and therefore called on the government to carefully consider moving the capital. Li pointed out that the Greater Taipei area has a large population and some residential areas are located in places with high soil liquefaction potential. This, coupled with past earthquake warnings, shows that housing in Taipei is vulnerable. He mentioned the risk map produced in 2013 and called on the government to formulate long-term urban plans to remove populations and infrastructure in dangerous areas to ensure national security. News headline: Doctors launch liver protection menu to enhance detoxification, one ingredient can prevent heavy metal absorption. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: Nephrologist Dr. Hong Yongxiang shared 4 liver-protecting foods, including cruciferous vegetables, algae, high-sulfur foods, and healthy fats. He pointed out that algae such as seaweed and kelp can prevent heavy metals from being absorbed by the body and are beneficial to the liver. In addition, sulfur-containing foods such as garlic and onions can help the liver detoxify, while healthy fats such as fish oil and olive oil have positive effects on liver protection. He recommends incorporating these foods into your daily menu to strengthen your liver. News headline: Foreign media praise Taiwan for being top-notch in earthquake prevention. Experts reveal the right thing to do after 921, top-notch technology not inferior to that of Japan and South Korea. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: A 7.2 strong earthquake occurred in Hualien on the 3rd, which attracted the attention of international media. The US media praised Taiwan's excellent earthquake prevention measures, which resulted in relatively small losses. Real estate experts point out that the key is that after the September 21 earthquake, the government revised the earthquake-resistant building regulations, and most builders also complied with the regulations, making Taiwan's construction quality and safety among the best in Asia, even Japan and South Korea. During this earthquake, only 2 buildings collapsed, confirming the effectiveness of Taiwan's earthquake prevention measures. Experts urge not to belittle the quality of Taiwan's construction, and are grateful for the efforts of previous generations and the cooperation of builders, which allowed Taiwan to successfully overcome this crisis. News headline: The combat power of the Army's aircraft carrier Fujian has soared again. Retired Major General is frightened, more powerful than the United States. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: Photos of a carrier-based aircraft taking off from the Chinese aircraft carrier Fujian were recently exposed at the Jiangnan shipyard in China, attracting attention. Retired Major General Li Zhenjie said that the Fujian carrier-based aircraft include the J-35, J-15, and KJ-600, among which the KJ-600 has advanced radar technology, is more powerful than similar radars in the United States, and has a wide monitoring range and distance. Li Zhenjie pointed out that the electromagnetic ejection system of the Fujian carrier-based aircraft allows large-scale early warning aircraft to take off, which greatly improves its combat effectiveness, compared with the previous limitations of only using helicopters. News headline: Actor reveals showbiz secret, variety show Big Brother is 8 hours late for gambling, hundreds of viewers waited stupidly. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: Male artist Dejen has participated in programs such as Are There Any College Students? And revealed an experience of cooperating with a well-known variety show brother. The eldest brother was not only late for more than 8 hours, but also watched a football match while waiting. Dagan lowered his salary in order to get more job opportunities, but eventually found that his income was meager, even only 300 yuan per episode. This revelation allows people to see some of the inside story and reality of the entertainment industry. News headline: High-end ingredients support disaster relief, Hualien private chef owner warmly delivers 5-star bento. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: China Times News Network. News highlights: Hualien's well-known private chef restaurant Jamie's Cuisine took the initiative to provide 5-star charity lunch boxes to the hard-working police, firefighters, and medical staff after the Hualien earthquake. The bento is generously portioned and features high-end ingredients such as sweet beans, asparagus, etc., triggering heated discussions among netizens. The restaurant owner said he hopes to appease the rescue team's souls through delicious food and provides different dishes and vegetarian options. Netizens left messages of support, and some suggested that the boss accept donations to help more people. News headline, asserting that the Kuomintang only exposes cheats and avoids cross-strait war will be difficult to win in 2028. Guo Zhengliang throws out his explanation. Release time, April 7, 2024. Data reference, China Times News Network. News highlights, former President Ma Ying-jeou mentioned during his visit to the mainland that the 1992 consensus avoided cross-strait conflicts. However, former legislator Guo Zhengliang criticized the KMT as being intimidated and only exposing cheats but not talking about its line. He believes that the Kuomintang should quickly clarify its line in the next 2 years, otherwise it will face difficulties in the 2028 general election. He pointed out that the Kuomintang currently gives the impression to the outside world that it avoids war and exposes flaws, but young people are concerned about the future, and the Kuomintang has not proposed a direction. Guo suggested that the KMT take advantage of the fact that there will be no elections in 2 years to clarify its line and avoid being labeled by the DPP again. News headline, a secondary vocational school cheerleader who is still dancing at almost 40 years old is accused of being senior. Insiders find out the key and agree in seconds. Release time, April 7, 2024. Data reference, China Times News Network. News highlights, Taiwan's professional baseball cheerleading culture has been booming in recent years, attracting many older members to participate, such as Dai Ying, Wu Yuquan, etc. Netizens commented on this question one after another, pointing out issues such as talent gaps and management preference as combat power. Some people think that young people have more ways to make money, while those who cannot enter the entertainment industry continue to cheerleading. In addition, some people believe that Taiwanese society as a whole is insufficient in training new recruits, which has led to the aging of cheerleading team members. News headline, how many bubbles do you have? Kick. An armored soldier beat his commander and blew himself up with 2 criminal charges. Release time, April 7, 2024. Data reference, China Times News Network. News highlights, a private named Wei from the Combat Support Company of the 3rd Battalion of the 584th Combined Arms Brigade of the Army had a verbal conflict with his superiors in the camp. He even made verbal provocations, pushed the sergeant, and even threatened the other party. The court ruled that Wei Nan not only ignored military discipline, but also damaged the unity of the army and the prestige of his superiors, and sentenced him to 6 months in prison. Although Wei Nan showed remorse, he was young and did not think carefully, and his violation of military discipline was still intolerable. News headline, Fire the Landlord, Look Here. Taipei's painless rent-to-purchase housing area revealed. Release time, April 5, 2024. Data reference, Economic Daily. News highlights, with the central bank raising interest rates and electricity bills rising, many young renters are considering subletting instead of buying. According to Taiwan Housing Information, tenants who work in Taipei City and want to repurchase may consider choosing Zizi, Sankong, Luzhu, which is just across the bridge from Taipei, as well as Dujin, which has developed rapidly in recent years. The average monthly mortgage payment in these areas is similar to the rent, or even lower than the rent in Taipei City, and the commuting time will not increase much. Taking into account possible future interest rate increases and the long-term solutions provided by Xingqingan, many renters have decided to switch from renting to buying, and have chosen to buy a house in the new Taipei area to save on rent expenses and own their own house. News headline, Terry Go, the key to AI competitiveness lies in the rapid introduction of applications. Release time, April 6, 2024. Data reference, Economic Daily. News highlights, Honhai founder Terry Go said today that the competitiveness of AI lies in the rapid introduction of applications. Honha's layout in AI has begun to attract attention in recent years. In March, its revenue hit the second highest level in the same period in previous years, and its operations are expected to grow significantly. American foreign investors have raised Honha's rating, believing that it will benefit from the increased volume of AI in electric vehicles. Regarding AI trends, Terry Go emphasized that the important thing is how to apply it quickly. He mentioned that Taiwan should master AI tools and skills early and take root in AI education to enhance industrial competitiveness. Terry Go launched his AI layout a few years ago and published related books such as Introduction to Artificial Intelligence to promote the popularization and application of AI. News headline, TSMC stated that Japan's second factory will also locate in Kikuyo town. Release time, April 6, 2024. Data reference, Economic Daily. News highlights, TSMC President Wei Jia announced during the meeting that the company's planned second factory in Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan, will be located in Kikuyo town like the first factory. The second factory is expected to start construction at the end of 2024 and start mass production at the end of 2027. It will be located close to the first factory, which is expected to be mass-produced at the end of this year. Wei Zhijia expressed his gratitude to the Japanese government for its support and hoped that by providing employment opportunities and establishing strong relationships with local companies, it would contribute to the cultivation of local talents and have a positive impact. News headline: Can I still buy Kingpyu numbers starting with 46? Expert: investors are looking for leaks. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Kingpyu's real estate market has surged in recent years, with house prices rising from 2 to 3 5 years ago to 4 to 6. The number of investors has significantly decreased, and now mainly owner-occupiers are entering the market, which is easier than chasing prices. Although housing prices have soared in the short term, buying momentum is still strong, and there is little chance that housing prices will fall back. Housing prices in the 3 major living areas of Kingpyu continue to rise, but the increase has slowed down and the annual price increase has gradually decreased. Investors have dropped significantly, transaction volume is stable, and house prices may enter a period of consolidation. News headline: Robotaxis are coming. Musk: Tesla will launch Robotaxi on August 8. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Economic Daily. News highlights: Tesla CEO Musk announced through the social platform X on the 5th that the company will launch the self-driving taxi Robotaxi on August 8. This project will become one of Tesla's main businesses, although Tesla has not yet obtained Level 3 certification for autonomous driving. Musk's news spurred Tesla's stock price to rise more than 3% in after-hours trading. The implementation of this plan marks an important step for Tesla to further develop autonomous driving technology. News headline: A 50-year-old man's nose is purulent and smells like a dead rat. It's actually caused by a horrible habit. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlight: A chef sought medical treatment for a sensitive sense of smell, only to discover that the root cause of his rhinitis was nose hair trimming. The patient felt that he always smelled a pungent odor. At first he thought it was an environmental problem, but later he discovered that it was a problem with his nose. After examination, the doctor found severe inflammation and black scar. He was shocked to discover that the patient had used the same scissors to trim the skin of his feet and nose hair. Self-administered steroid nasal sprays worsened the symptoms and eventually required surgery. Doctors remind that allergic rhinitis and sinusitis have different nasal discharge characteristics. It is recommended that you seek medical advice as soon as possible if you encounter symptoms. News headline: Well-known brewery encountered financial problems and officially declared bankruptcy. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: D9 Brewing Co. is a beer brewery in Cornelius, USA. It has faced financial difficulties in recent years and has filed for bankruptcy in court. The company initially aimed to produce original ales and is famous for its wild sour beer system Anaturi 2nd edition, Skup Ernong and Lily, which won a gold medal at the 2016 Great American Beer Festival. However, financial problems led to the closure of several of the company's bars and investment houses. Although they have been committed to producing high-quality beer, they ultimately could not avoid the fate of bankruptcy. News headline: Well-known internet celebrity milk tea has exploded, 300 stores have closed down, and the CEO is in debt to set up a street stall. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: Yuanzhenzen is an internet celebrity milk tea brand that once became popular in mainland China, with nearly 300 stores. However, due to intensifying market competition and internal equity issues, the company gradually faded from people's attention, and eventually its stores closed down. Founder Xie Ya recently shared this embarrassing experience, saying that the company lost tens of millions of yuan in 2 years, and the process of changing from CEO to street vendor made her deeply moved. News headline: The price of gold soars and the price of a silver building is surprised to see the prefix 9. The gold selling trend reappears. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: The international gold price soared astonishingly, with an increase of 11%, and the silver price was as high as 9,090 yuan per dollar. Industry players predict that the price of gold will continue to rise, prompting people to sell gold, and some people even cash out more than 5 million at a time. Inflation and international turmoil drive investors to seek gold as a store of value, leading to a wave of gold selling in the market. Experts remind that financial markets are full of unknown risks and investors should remain vigilant. News headline: The largest earthquake in the eastern United States in a century. 42 million people feel it and the airport issues a grounding order. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: At 10:23 a.m. Eastern Time on the 5th, a magnitude 4.8 earthquake occurred in New Jersey. The epicenter was located near Lebanon and was felt by more than 42 million people. Although it caused no casualties, it caused panic. At around 6 p.m. on the 5th, an aftershock with a magnitude of 4.0 occurred, causing more panic. The USGS said there is a 46% chance that an earthquake of magnitude 3.0 or above will occur again within the next week. New York City and other places have taken steps to increase monitoring and assessment of damage to buildings. News headline: Hualianfeng diesel outperformed the landslide. Car dealers saw it, urgently looking for owners to return to the factory. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: on April 3, a magnitude 7.2 earthquake occurred in Hualien. Suhua Road was severely damaged, Kongd Mountain collapsed, and a large amount of earth and rocks rolled down the asphalt road. In a video, a Nissan X-Trail passenger car sped away from a landslide and successfully escaped the disaster, which attracted widespread attention. The car dealer issued a message expressing its gratitude and concern for the car owners, and called on the car owners to check the vehicles to ensure driving safety. News headline: Thailand's military recruitment lottery day competition for beauty. 2 campus ambassadors and beauty queens caused a sensation with their incredible looks. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: Thailand's military service system requires men aged 21 to 26 to participate in a military service lottery, but transgender people can apply for exemption by providing a hospital medical certificate. During the 2024 military recruitment period, 2 transgender girls from Thailand, Paradakare Uphan and Kantung Pasarapan, also reported for duty, causing online discussion. Parada is a university campus ambassador, and Kantung is a well-known transgender beauty queen. The two have received a lot of attention and discussion on the internet. News headline: Taipei port car accident. The couple's stop at the red light turned out to be a farewell. He burst into tears when he heard the news of his death. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: a major car accident occurred on Taipei's Gangshangang Road this morning. A gravel truck was suspected of chasing several vehicles that were stopped at a red light, causing a pile-up of multiple vehicles, including a heavy machine. The female passenger in the back seat of the heavy plane was hit and pinned under the car. She died after being sent to the hospital. The husband burst into tears on the spot. The driver who caused the accident claimed that his brakes failed, and the police sent him to court. The deceased and her husband had 2 daughters and had planned to go on a trip. Couples who are emotionally harmonious often share their lives on social platforms, but the good time ends unexpectedly. News headline: Unexploded bombs in Greater Taipei. Shanjiao Fault runs through northern Taiwan. Double north alert. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: Hualien's strong earthquake raises concerns about the Shanjiao Fault, which is located beneath the Greater Taipei Basin and runs through extensive and densely populated areas including transportation and construction, such as the Datun Volcanic Complex. This fault is a normal fault. If it ruptures, it may release a magnitude 6.6 earthquake, affecting multiple administrative districts in the Shuangbei region. The earthquake intensity can reach 7 or above. The Taipei Basin has weak soil and side effects, so seismic waves may be amplified. However, experts point out that the probability of fault activity is low and recommend that residents check their homes regularly and do not need to worry too much. News headline: Hug a disabled classmate in the moment of earthquake. LU High School student wins 20,000 scholarship. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: a strong earthquake occurred in Hualien on the 3rd. The earthquake was felt as far as Xiamen, Fujian, China. Students in a high school quickly fled out the door. One of the male students surnamed Zhang did not hesitate to pick up a disabled classmate and fled the classroom with his classmates. The male student surnamed Zhang said that his only thought at the time was not to leave his classmates behind. This move was widely praised. In recognition of his actions, the China Philanthropy Foundation awarded him a scholarship of 5,000 yuan, approximately NT $21,000. News headline: Aftershocks are still shaking. 682 earthquakes in 4 days, distribution map of intensive fear revealed. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Dongsan News. News highlights: after a 7.2 magnitude earthquake occurred in Hualien on the 3rd, aftershocks continued. As of 8:12 this morning, the Earthquake Forecasting Center of the Central Meteorological Administration counted 682 felt earthquakes. Aftershocks are mainly distributed north of the main shock, especially along the Mailun Fault and the Suhua coast. Although the frequency and scale of aftershocks are decreasing day by day, we still need to be more vigilant, especially in mountainous areas where the geology is fragile. There may be rain in the mountainous areas in the next 2 days. People should avoid activities such as mountaineering, camping, and river tracing. According to data from the Central Disaster Response Center, there were a total of 682 main shocks plus felt earthquakes, of which there were the largest number of aftershocks between magnitude 3 and 4, with a total of 447, followed by aftershocks between magnitude 4 and 5, with a total of 208. News headline: What should you do if your dubbing job is taken away by AI? Mamma Mia star reveals her kissing process. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News focus: The impact of AI on the entertainment industry is becoming more and more obvious. The dubbing work of the protagonist of the musical Mamma Mia has been replaced by AI. This incident shows the impact of AI on human workers. The entertainment industry is the hardest hit area by AI, with areas ranging from dubbing to image synthesis being affected. In order to protect their own rights and interests, workers in the entertainment industry actively seek legal and agreement protection. However, with the advancement of technology, fully synthesized content may become the mainstream in the future, which will compress the space of actors. When companies use AI to produce entertainment content, in addition to considering cost-effectiveness, they should also pay attention to ethical and moral issues. News headline: Second-hand smoke on the roadside is difficult to solve. Why don't outdoor smoking pavilions work in Taiwan? Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Taiwan's tobacco harm control law has been implemented for nearly 30 years, and the indoor smoking ban has achieved results, but the problem of outdoor second-hand smoke is still serious. Although the law was revised last year to add new no-smoking areas, it is still difficult to regulate roadside areas. Setting up outdoor smoking areas is difficult. Because Taiwan is a small country with a dense population, it is recommended that smoking be banned in major arterial roads, bus shelters, and other places where people gather. In addition, raising cigarette prices can reduce the number of smokers and reduce the harm of outdoor second-hand smoke. Implementing the outdoor smoking ban requires social consensus and more effective measures. News headline: A better compliment than you're great. Make your compliments more profound and sincere. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Shares a few tips on complimenting others to avoid them sounding empty and perfunctory. It is recommended to use methods such as adding questions, adding specific reasons, adding details, adding examples, etc. These techniques can make compliments more specific and sincere, making the other person feel seen and affirmed. At the same time, we also remind you not to praise too exaggeratedly, avoid making comparisons, and respect the uniqueness of each person. Through these methods, we can make our compliments more powerful and more heartwarming. News headline: Walking 10,000 steps a day is not enough. Super jogging goes crazy across Taiwan and becomes a phenomenon-level sport for 50-plus people. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Taiwan has witnessed a craze for ultra-jogging in recent years. This sport originated from Japan is not only popular among the elderly, but also popular for its low threshold, health benefits, and social characteristics. The slow speed of ultra-jogging can take into account health and is not burdensome, attracting the favor of middle-aged and elderly people. Its appeal lies not only in the physical health effects, but also in the spiritual nourishment of building a supportive community. Word-of-mouth marketing, spokesperson effect, and community resonance have also become key factors in promoting ultra-jogging, demonstrating its potential and lasting influence in the Taiwanese sports market. News headline: Humans are more poisonous. Study: Cases of virus transmission to animals are twice as likely. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Latest research points out that the number of viruses transmitted from humans to animals is about twice as high as the number of viruses transmitted from animals to humans. Nearly 12 million viral genomes were analyzed and it was found that 79% of the viruses were transmitted from one animal to another, and 21% of them were related to humans, 64% of which were human-to-animal transmission, and 36% were animal-to-human transmission. Affected animals include pets, domestic animals, wild animals, etc. Studies have pointed out that close contact is the main way for the virus to spread across species. This finding highlights the close relationship between humans, the surrounding environment and animals, and calls for greater attention to epidemic prevention and control. News headline: Latest progress of Sora, will it be used to shoot the next Hollywood blockbuster? Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: OpenAI's latest Sora demonstration video attracted the participation of professional creative workers. The finished product is more detailed and narrative, demonstrating the potential of video generation models in the fields of marketing, advertising, and artistic creation. The actual test results include a number of carefully produced films, among which Airhead and Beyond Our Reality are particularly eye-catching. The industry says that the collaboration between humans and machines can unleash Sora's greater potential, especially in film production. OpenAI has promoted Sora to Hollywood studios, which has aroused high interest from the studios, but has not yet reached a cooperation. Market forecasts indicate that by the end of 2027, the global market size of the text-to-video model will reach $900 million. However, faced with challenges such as copyright issues and the spread of fake information, companies and regulatory agencies need to work together to find solutions. News headline: Psychological experts say that it is better to take a big break to reserve energy for the end of work than to read letters during the holidays. Release time: April 4, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: the key to energy management for elites during the long vacation is, first, get rid of the psychological barrier that non-stop work represents effort, and track daily work tasks and identify assets and liabilities. Secondly, find your own big rest mode, such as exercising, reading or sleeping well, and stick to it. Such energy management enables performance in high-pressure work environments while maintaining physical and mental health. News headline: Is there any business opportunity for free shipping between Taiwan and Japan? Pinkoi report reveals new 5 senses. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: according to Pinkoi's 2024 Creative Economy Industry Insight Report, in the era of new retail and artificial intelligence, design brands need to focus on the new 5 senses to be competitive: AI-led sense, personal pleasure, resonance, uniqueness, and internationality feel. Through big data analysis, Pinkoi proposes strategies such as personalized recommendations, meeting personal needs, sustainable products, unique designs, and cross-border services. They are also actively investing in technology, launching SaaS services, AI-driven retail media network services, and introducing direct delivery services to Taiwan and Japan to enhance consumer experience and expand market share. News headline: The world's first AI flight attendant is born. Qatar Airways Sama creates a new experience for passengers. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Qatar Airways launched the world's first AI virtual flight attendant Sama 2.0, attracting attention in the global aviation industry. Through holographic projection technology, passengers can talk to Sama and obtain real-time inquiries and travel suggestions to enhance the boarding experience. Qatar Airways takes excellent service and continuous innovation as its core values and demonstrates its continuous pursuit of technology. AI has broad application prospects in the aviation market, and it is expected that the global market size will reach nearly $10 billion by 2030. News headline: Can employees share too? New labor cost model for China's science and technology industry. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Chinese technology companies are beginning to adopt a shared employee model to save costs, allowing many employees to work flexibly between different companies. Although this model reduces the company's labor costs, it also causes issues such as labor disputes and social security ownership. Although the shared employee model helps companies save costs, many people are worried that this is just the sharing of labor by companies, and labor disputes and social security issues have not yet been resolved. News headline: Super awesome. The town with the highest rate of cross-dressing in the country. Loyal fans will understand the logo instantly after seeing it. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Eataday News Cloud. News highlights: because the logo of a certain township is similar to that of a well-known brand, it has become the area with the highest rate of shirt matching in the country, attracting the attention of many loyal fans. The design of this logo makes people think of well-known brands at a glance, making them feel super cool. When loyal fans of the area see this logo, they can immediately understand which township it is from, demonstrating their love and identification with the place. News headline: 4.8 earthquake in eastern United States breaks 240-year record. New Yorkers screamed in fear as the Statue of Liberty shook wildly. Release time: April 6, 2024. Data reference: Eataday News Cloud. News focus: a 4.8 magnitude earthquake occurred in the northeastern United States on the morning of the 5th, affecting Washington, D.C., New York State, Maine, and Pennsylvania. It was the third largest earthquake in the region in the past 50 years and the strongest earthquake in New Jersey in 240 years. The Statue of Liberty shook violently in the earthquake. Local residents shouted in panic. Some initially thought it was traffic, but later realized it was an earthquake. The USGS predicts that there is a 40% chance of an aftershock with a magnitude of 3.0 or above occurring in the next week. News headline: Lao Gao overturned again. Talking about the new movie Dragon Ball 7, major mistakes were discovered. I apologized for being sent to the war and the video was urgently deleted. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: Eataday News Cloud. News highlights: YouTuber Lao Gao released a masterpiece video review of Dragon Ball, but was pointed out 7 major mistakes, including the year of broadcast and fictitious characters. Faced with the dissatisfaction of fans, Lao Gao issued an apology statement, admitting that he was busy at work and failed to fully verify the information, which resulted in many mistakes. He expressed his deep apology and removed the video. News headline: Kua. Xiongla reported food poisoning, 22 people sent to hospital. Wangpin, the water quality in the building is suspected to be abnormal. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: Kua Korean restaurant and Xiongla Spicy Hot Pot, both owned by Wangpin Group, suffered from food poisoning incidents one after another, and a total of 22 people were sent to the hospital. The Taipei City Health Bureau has asked the two restaurants to improve sanitation issues within a time limit. The group responded that it suspected it was caused by problems with the quality of public water in the building, and it had cooperated with the investigation and closed the restaurant on its own. The victim pointed out that the spiciness of the food was normal, but later developed symptoms such as diarrhea. Kua and Xiongla restaurants have serious internal hygiene problems, and the Health Bureau has ordered them to suspend operations. Wangpin Group said it would cooperate with the investigation and take improvement measures. News headline: The final game of the Red Ball project. People rushed to take photos. They punched in and said goodbye. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: The Red Ball project held its final event today at Tainan Daeanmen City, attracting a large number of people to take photos and check in, including ball-chasing tourists, graduates, etc. During the Red Ball exhibition period, it visited a total of 10 locations, attracting visitors at every stop. Many people rushed to take photos. Many people said they were quite sad to see the Red Ball leaving, but they also felt full of joy for this memory. The exhibition of the Red Ball project in Tainan brought different experiences and memories to many people, and became a highlight of this ancient capital. News headline: In remembrance of Zheng Nanrong President Tsai, democracy and freedom are the built-in genes of Taiwanese people. Release time: April 7, 2024. Data reference: China Television News. News highlights: April 7 is Freedom of Speech Day and also the 35th anniversary of Zheng Nanrong's death. President Tsai Ing-wen went to Jinshan to commemorate and solemnly laid flowers to express her respect for Zheng Nanrong. She emphasized that Taiwan's democracy and freedom have become built-in genes, and called on Taiwan to strengthen cooperation with democratic countries to jointly combat disinformation. The Zheng Nanrong Foundation hopes that the spirit of burn without destroying will continue, and the government declares April 7 every year as Free Speech Day. Tsai, Lai Ching-te and other politicians jointly defended freedom of speech and ensured the accuracy of information. Lin Jialong also attended the event in a low-key manner, attracting political attention. News headline: Canada's carbon fee has increased by 25%, but the 2040 carbon reduction target of 40% cannot be achieved. Release time: April 5, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Canada's carbon fee has increased sharply by 25%, triggering provincial demands to suspend or cancel the price increase, and intensifying social controversy. The Canadian government faces the challenge of meeting its carbon reduction targets. The water level in Taiwan's reservoirs is less than 50%, and water conservation is needed. Taipower is facing the problem of excessive carbon emissions, which may affect the operation of thermal power plants. Both countries need to actively respond to the challenge of climate change and accelerate carbon reduction measures. News headline: Ecological anxiety caused by climate change. Do you also have these characteristics? Release time: April 3, 2024. Data reference: Vision Magazine. News highlights: Extreme weather triggers climate anxiety. More than half of Americans feel anxious and worried, and some have given up on major decisions such as having children. Climate psychotherapy has become an emerging discipline, with universities offering relevant courses in all sectors of society investing in it. From inner adjustment to outer action, people search for coping strategies. Some people participate in practical actions through community organizations, advocacy actions, etc., to transform anxiety into positive changes. In politics, there are people entering politics trying to change policies to mitigate climate problems. Through collective discussions, psychological counseling, and political participation, people find a glimmer of hope in dealing with the challenges of climate change. News headline: The 27-year-old handsome actor was accused of domestic violence. He disappeared on Easter and his body was found in the woods 5 days later. Release time: April 7, 2024. Information reference: TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights: American actor Colleen Splenti was found dead in his car in the woods of Kansas. He was only 27 years old. He disappeared just before Easter and had previously been accused of domestic violence. After receiving a domestic violence report, police discovered that he had left and his body was eventually found in a car. The cause of death has not yet been announced and the investigation is ongoing. Cole's family and other actors expressed their condolences and called for their privacy to be respected. News headline, Warning Mercury retrograde Aries. All secrets hidden may be discovered. Tang Qiyang choked, but not everyone breaks the law. Release time, April 7, 2024. Information reference, TVBS Entertainment Headlines. News highlights, senior host Huang Zijiao has caused controversy due to his collection of indecent films and participation in pornographic forums. Astrology expert Tang Qiyang posted a post on Facebook. Although he did not name him, he pointed at Huang Zijiao. She pointed out that modern society can no longer hide the truth and called on the government to strengthen its crackdown on the pornography industry. She emphasized that the simplest way to be a good person is not to do bad things, and don't think that hidden behaviors will not be discovered. She concluded by mentioning that everyone has secrets, but not everyone breaks the law.